and they'll go left to right in the first quarter. In the opening round, in hot conditions at Optus Oval, Carlton won by 40 points. But the last two times they've been at the Gabba, both in finals, they've lost Carlton by 73 and 97 points. And so Brisbane go in as slight favourites against a team which has won 10 in a row. Yes. Bo McDonald will go up against Porter. Great last week. Well, just away to the right. A real tight bunch there. And it'll be interesting to see who eventually picks up Koutafidis. Looks like White might have the first go at him. And the Blues get the first kick out of the middle. A hurried one by Hume down towards half forward. Taken by Lepic, who's resisted attempts to get him back to Melbourne and staying with Brisbane. Away to Lappin, who was best last week for the Lions at Geelong. And the ball out of bounds off McRae at half forward.
And it does look as though Franchina's picking up Nigel Lappin. And Darryl White with Koutafidis. So a couple of big matchups there.
Massey, Freeborn, O'Reilly and Matthew Lappin on the bench for the Blues. The ball back out of bounds. Deliberate, says umpire Coates. And it'll be a free kick to the Blues to be taken by Scott Camporelli from right half-back. A short one over the top. Ratton marks.
Ratton attended by White. His kick towards Houghton. Lepic has got Houghton. And Malloy has Whitnell. Fletcher got it. Quickly played on Carlton. Going forward and taking the mark on the lead. Aaron Hamill. Chris Scott has him. So quite interesting the way that the Brisbane defence is lined up on this Carlton forward line. Hamill's kick is away to the right just for the one behind. Malcolm, I would have thought perhaps Lepic might have been the bet for Whitnell, but Jared Malloy did say during the week that he wanted him.
Yes, and I mean he did play very well. And here's this Sean Hart handball back. Pretty tough call that. I mean,
gone forward a fair way.
Yeah, very tough call.
Malloy with the kick in. Quite an easy mark for Lepic, just on the chest. His kick looking for some height. McDonald. Porter there for his first mark. And welcome back to AFL football, Mark Porter. Just the start he'd look for. Get his hands on the ball early. Yeah. Take a nice mark.
Great confidence builder, isn't it?
Yeah. Kick to a congested 50. Chris Scott just right up inside there. Takes the mark. He's the leading mark taker for Brisbane. Quickly playing on. Ashcroft, who's returned to a bit of form for the Lions. Out to the wing looking for power. Rice in pursuit. Oh, Power's been so dangerous. A little chip back into Ashcroft. Power gets it back. Brisbane look to be running and playing on at all costs at the moment. Bradshaw slips over and Beaumont takes the mark.
So the Blues a chance to get it out of defence. Camporelli across the half-back line to Fletcher. Bounce gets away from him. And now look for the line. Now, is that any less deliberate than what Sean Hart did?
Well, the first one was silly free kick anyhow. So, look, what's going to happen here is that they're trying to give the full forwards, Whitnell and Lynch, as we watch Simon Fletcher just tap that ball forward. There's really going to be a lot of space in the forward line if you can get a quick entry, because there's a lot of players between half-back and half-forward.
Hart rows the ball. Lawrence inside the 50 and crouched over by McKay. The crowd want a 50-metre penalty. Out umpire Coates stands the mark, and Lawrence will have to kick from about the 50-metre line.
It's fantastic. Andrew Mackay is on Craig McRae, and you've got, just trying to pick him up now, is Dean Rice on Luke Power. So even the flankers are interesting matchups, aren't they?
Well, Power did play on McKay last year in the finals and gave him a bit of a runaround.
So Stevie Lawrence from 48 metres out, a magnificent drop punt. There's a bit of left about it, but wait on it, a behind. I think the crowd trying to will the goal umpire to give 2 fingers there.
So as we have a look at the Brisbane bench, Trent Noble there with Ben Robbins making his return to the side. Des Headland with him. Very popular amongst the players, Ben Robbins. I know they're very keen to have him back, and joining them on the bench will also be Tim Notting. So Carlton will work it out easily. Christou. Player on his own in the middle of the ground was Mansfield, and he's away. Got the player on the lead, Franchina. Good work from Carlton. They've worked it up the ground quite easily. 3 possessions, low kick to Whitnell, and that's a training drill from Carlton. Just how it works on a Thursday or Friday night. So Lance Whitnell, who has been in outstanding form this season, 45 goals, 4th on the AFL ladder for goal kicking. For the first goal this Sunday afternoon at the Gabba, and no problems for Big Lance.
Yes, what an outstanding talent. to Carlton under the father and son rule, and isn't he repaying them back? He's had a great goal kicking, as Matthews mentioned, and there's that kick actually fell short. I thought Malloy was probably trying to read it a bit longer than that, and you can't do that up forward, particularly when you're playing behind. And so the first goal to Carlton through Lance Whitnell.
Umpire John Harvey with the bounce, in charge with Michael Vozzo and Andrew Coates. Porter gets over the top to get it down towards Bradley, who couldn't handle. Champion. And he's held up. And John Harvey will have to bounce again. Porter's made a pretty good return.
It's amazing too. Michael Voss on Brett Rattler. Oh, it's just, everywhere you look over the ground, there's just, hope they all play on each other.
For the whole day?
Yeah.
Camporelli getting through the pack to Ratton. Kicked by Ratton inside the 50. Oh, Malloy missed it. And Whitnell gets his second.
Hasn't he been a great starter this year? He's kicked a lot of goals early in the game and broken games over, and that was just Jared Malloy overrunning the ball. And unfortunately in football, if you don't take your chance in front where you should be rewarded, it got behind, and a lucky goal, but Jared Malloy had his chance.
The umpire's just putting the middle stump back in now.
Yeah, one of the things there, he almost went one-handed, didn't he? I mean, you've got to try and get your body behind it first and foremost rather than a hand.
So Whitnell, a fantastic start for him. McDonald getting the hand on it. Quick kick from Darryl White. Mansfield with a two-handed punch. Lappin followed on, did likewise, got it forward, but the numbers are with Carlton. Ange Christo going back. Lappin's followed on. Clever handball in the end because he freed up Mansfield, who just gave it away to Champion. Through some traffic. Not a good kick, it's smothered, and Carlton should clear. McKay, Camporelli now. 2-on-1 the Lions. Chris Johnson, who is enjoying his best football since moving to Brisbane, and it is in defence. Lovely kick to White. Ooh, coming in low. Play on the call. Here's Fletcher now for Carlton. Hamill's on a long lead. The kick gets him. So they've turned it over very effectively at the moment, Carlton.
Super play from Porter in the centre. He absolutely risked himself, didn't he?
White was playing about 50 metres off Koutafidis. They look as though they might play their own game, and White's ball all over.
Yeah. So Aaron Hamill, who behind Koutafidis and Whitnell, their third best kicker for the year with 24, and unfortunately for him, this time it's his second behind already. So Whitnell has 2 goals, Harrell has 2 points, and it is the Blues leading by 13 early in the game.
Tell you what I've noticed early, a lot of Carlton fans here. They've got them all over the country.
Yeah, they certainly have, and there's a large supporter group here in Brisbane.
Scott has it, still in the back pocket. And people still getting to their seats. This will be a monster crowd here today. And a magnificent kick. He had 1 centimetre to spare. Ackermanis takes the mark. Gets rid of Bradley over the boundary line, but the umpire says you've got to come back and kick over the mark.
You've also got these two running around together, and you've also got Sean Hart and Scott Camporelli, so it's amazing game.
Ball gets to the back of the pack, well read by Bradshaw. Power might have been a bit lucky, but he played in front, got the mark. You would have thought the kick by Bradshaw would have travelled further than that, but Luke Power, who's been in great goal-kicking touch. Goal-kicking small man on the forward line. Oh, it's a good kick. Home she goes. Lions' first goal. It's 2-1-1.
Yes, and young fella's really improved. Bradshaw did very well then. Just got the boot the ball, and like all good forwards from 50-50s, Luke Power playing in front on a low mark, and then what's improved also, Matt, has been his kicking, hasn't it? He's been a much straighter kick.
Yeah, it was that little chip kick that he used to try before. Now was for the season. He's kicked 32 goals, 10. Well, proving to be one of the most dangerous half-forward or goal-kicking half-forwards in the AFL. 23 in the last 7 weeks, so got to the stage where he's averaging over 3 a game, and very, very straight. The bounce favours Koutafidis, quickly out of the centre. Houghton and Leppich with Voss with Ratton. Voss released, hoping Leppich was there. Leppich looking for the boundary. Good tackle by Trent Houghton. The ball is still going.
Oh!
clash of bodies between two lions, Shattuck and Levitt, but they've worked it out. Johnson, the 1-2 with Voss, lost it to Franchina. Hickmont over the top for Ratton, getting there late wide, but Ratton's kick is just going to the line, and Malloy safely marking. Now they look to switch it. Well, Hart left Camberelli. He's got it now, spreads to the wing. Chris Scott provides the run for him. A little bit of time for Scott towards the forward 50. Getting back and taking a good mark, Andy McKay. Here's Camberelli now, enjoying that bit of space, and amazingly, space is what Trent Houghton has at the moment. Short kick, want to be spot on, it is. Darren Hume marking just outside his forward 50, wants Whitnell. A little bit of a stumble from Malloy's, enough! Well, it was Chris Scott who was helping out. And just 5 or so metres before Whitnell got to the ball, Scott just losing half his footing. And so Lance Whitnell, what a start this will be.
Well, at this rate, he'll kick about 35 goals now.
Freddie Fanning's record will be in danger.
Yes, but what happens when the supply dries up, Whitnell will now move up the ground, Hamill will go back, and they'll just do switcheroosies in the forward line. So just completely off balance defences.
Well, only from 15 metres directly in front. It should be Lance Whitnell stirred for the quarter. And he just sneaks it in.
If my memory serves me right, I think he kicked 3 last week in the first quarter, perhaps even 4 against Adelaide in that blitz of Adelaide last week in the 8-goal quarter.
He had 5 in the first half and just 1 at the end, wasn't it? Yeah.
But they are giving him a lot of space. It's a great kick here from Hume. Just puts it out in front and at full tilt. You just couldn't get better delivery than that.
Well, a change has been made already. There it is.
So Justin Lepich is now the man to look after the goal kicker. Whitnell, who's kicked 3 in the opening 10.5 minutes. Beau McDonald wins in the middle. It's sharked by Camperelli. They've worked it beautifully after a losing ruck. Franchina's kick. On the lead is Hamill. And at the moment, the Lions' backs can't take a trick. It's either Hamill or Whitnell carving them up.
It's also Camperelli coming off the back of the square with Hart and running forward that's causing some trouble. He's already had 6 touches, Camperelli.
Well, if things go according to plan, he'll kick it behind. 3 goals to Whitnell, 3 points to Hamill.
Big deep breath for Aaron Hamill. Distance shouldn't be a bother, but after a couple of misses early, I just don't know what's going through his mind. A hush over the Gabba. Carlton fans behind the goals like it. That's his first. Four-2 to 1-1.
The irony of this is that they've been chess marks virtually.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been leading players, kicks falling short or just good kicks, rather than high marks. Very dangerous players. They're both fit young fellas, aren't they, Whitnell and Hamill? And that quick kick out, and this is where a good forward should be, just as the ball is in a 50-50, just move to the front, and sometimes you get a cheap kick. And a pretty good kick in the end.
Well, Hamill now moved back to the goal square with Malloy, and as you mentioned, Malcolm, Whitnell out around the 50 with O'Reilly at centre-half forward. So the forward line for Carlton working at the moment, back in the centre. Bradley goes to ground from the hip and shoulder from Lawrence. A scramble of players, there'll be another ball up.
Malcolm, just the tactics with Camperelli. He's not playing as a wingman. He's starting the bounce at the back end of the centre square and just charging in.
That's exactly right. And all he has to do is go one way then. Hart's got the problem. Does he go back and drop off and create, or does he go by himself?
Bounce again from umpire Vozzo. There's Camperelli again. Underneath was Voss. It spills for Ackermanis. He's caught. Good tackle. Numbers there again to Carlton. Didn't take clean possession. Another smother. Need a clean possession. Who's going to give it to anybody? White. Christou up and under. Favours Chris Scott. You'd back him in the air, but Fletcher does extremely well to bring it to ground. Scott heard the voice from Johnson. He goes to ground. Carlton again. Hassling, harassing. Koutafidis. Not clean again. Real scramble of play here. Fletcher goes to ground. Champion in there with Ashcroft. Crowd wanting some sort of free kick, but it's not to be. It'll be another bounce down.
Strategically, going back to that Camperelli bit, that means they've got 7 in their forward line, only 5 in Carlton's. The scoreboard will now dictate what happens from there. Carlton forward line far too open, really. They'll kick a lot of goals if it stays like that.
McRae slapped it forward looking for Hart. The only man there was Ratton. left foot around the body. Whitnell edges Lepich under the ball. Lappin coming back to help out, slaps it forward. Scott there for the Lions. Beaten to it by Franchina. Good work again. It ends up with Fletcher. Carlton doing very well in close, but the kick falls for Justin Lepich.
Lepich across the far side of the ground for Johnson. Hamill is quick though. He's bigger but very quick, and he made up metres on Johnson. And the ball goes out of play. Well played, Aaron Hamill. And with the tactics employed by Carlton, I wonder what roles Wayne Britton has a lot to say on match days and the planning, and his background with Brisbane might be helping him make the plans against the Lions.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Lee Matthews has obviously gone in a plan trying to match up theirs, and it's forcing an open forward line.
Christou's kick inside the 50. Hume from near the boundary line. Discipline to Houghton. Ball's punched away, but it's out in front of goals. This could be dangerous. Ratton the hand pass back. Fletcher for the Blues. Back he comes. Hickmott. And a disappointing kick from a standing start behind.
It's been an outstanding form, Adrian Hickmott. Doing work at both ends of the ground and doing a lot of the hard work and still picking up possessions. A terrific game last week against Adelaide at Optus as Johnson finds Ashcroft from the kick in. It's a 20-point margin to Carlton. They've certainly started well. Ashcroft, his target are the 243s. Koutafidis and McDonald. The spoil from Koutafidis. Ackermanis up and under. Tough one to mark. Christou has the sit. Strong punch. Here's power now for the Lions. Got it the champion. One-on-one inside 50. Lynch against Silvani. Bounces past both of them and ends up with Beaumont, who got back to help out first. So exciting when you see two great players running for the ball like Lynch and Silvani. Another bad bounce. Scott the dummy. Short kick, spotted short half and almost got there. Here's a chance for McRae. He's got champion. Decides to use a left foot up and under, and it's all Carlton back there. And the mark will be taken by Camporelli. Probably should have used champion in hindsight. Now they'll switch it to Rice. Rice to the outer wing. Whitnell there with Johnson. Bit of a mismatch there. Whitnell gets the free kick for holding.
So Lance Whitnell really covering ground. Here he is back at half-back flank, having opened the game with 3 goals in the opening 10.5 minutes. And what a game by Camporelli, the last man back in defence. Whitnell up short of half forward. And Mansfield takes a good mark in the pack. Kick by Michael Mansfield. Well camped under it, Fletcher. Top mark. White put him under pressure, and Fletcher stood his ground.
Yeah, look, the game's going to have to change now because this is Brisbane are actually being reactive.
Yeah.
What they've got to do is try and find some space now for themselves to get some run through their forward line. It's really stop-start for them.
Fletcher's kick for goal. It's right. It's right. It gets back in for a goal.
And perhaps just to go on with that, I mean, the matchups are fine and I mean, you can do all that, but at the moment you're not winning the footies. You tend to be second-guessing what Carlton are doing. Everyone's got a man and following someone.
Yep.
So I think sometimes when it gets like this and you're already 4 goals is getting out of hand, so you actually do a change now. I reckon you just call all those off and just let them play and see what happens.
Be entertaining for us though if it keeps up like this. Just nice and open and marks on the forward lines.
Well, Carlton continue with their good start and their ability to take marks at the moment has given them a 26-point margin. McDonald is winning the ruck out of the centre to the same spot. White's kicked forward. Lawrence couldn't mark it. Heavy work from Voss. Mansfield on top of it. Gets a free kick, which I guess in hindsight is a little bit lucky, but it doesn't matter because he's given it to Koutafidis and they're away again, the Blues. Lepich and Whitnell over the back. Needs support, Lepich. Lappin coming through, forcing it out in front of him. Will it get to the boundary first? He's happy to do it now. If that's could be construed as deliberate if the first one was, but we'll leave that alone as Franchina stays with Lappin. As we go back to Mansfield, I think it's against Lawrence for across the head. There it is.
Well, it's actually missed him, but
yeah,
looked bad.
Here's Koutafidis. Back to Hamill. Gee, that's gone high. Anyone's marked there. Fletcher with Scott. Here's Whitnell. Back to Fletcher. Lepich got there first. Oh, Hickmott pushed out of it, and Ashcroft gets through some traffic, but the free kick goes back. Yeah, it's a fair call from looking at the way I first saw it, Malcolm.
Yeah. See John Harvey there saying he pushed him. Bit softish again, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he made sure he saw it too. But another chance for Carlton. What a start by the Blues.
It's got to change.
Quite amazingly, and I think incorrectly, they started this game as underdogs. From 40 metres, Adrian Hickmott, no problems. Carlton on fire at the Gabba.
Yeah, it's not quite the start. You're sort of holding your breath at the moment and saying you're in awe of Carlton, the way they're playing. I think I, like most, thought that this was a really good chance without Matthew Allen to give them some drive. Porter's been good though, he's been very competitive. But the guys around the ball, and particularly their forward line, one out. Fletcher and Hickmott on the wings have been marvellous so far. You know, they've done their bits. Both got goals, so very dangerous times now for Brisbane.
Back in the middle, Carlton have made a magnificent start. They lead by 5-2. Porter against McDonald. Scott has gone on to Koutafidis in the middle. Darryl White started there. Attempted soccer by Ackermanis is penalised. Don't see that paid too often. Kick in danger. Quickly the Blues have it. Christou straight to full forward with a massive kick, but Lappin is back there to take the mark. Great game last week at Cardinia Park. Michael Voss come out for his first kick. He's out of the centre 4. He kicks towards the boundary line far side and punched over for a throw-in. Not too many spare seats now at the Gabba. This is just a crowning day for AFL football in the northern state. Magnificent scene here. Never seen anything like it. Can't believe that the Gabba is the same place. Capacity last year was 26,000. Today they might get 36 or 37,000. Ball out of play and the umpire will throw it in.
It'd be fair to say, Drew, they're a bit stunned at the moment too, as far as this start by Carlton.
Absolutely. They've come here to see the Lions charge towards the finals. They haven't really strung games together yet, the Lions. And hand pass Lappin comes into Bradley. Christou on the run with distance off the left. Koutafidis has got forward. Scott's with him, giving away height. Scott. Clever kick by Kouta. It won't quite get there. Covering ground is Michael Voss.
But as Malcolm said, the Lions are playing reactive footy. They're just chasing Carlton at the moment and trying to hang on.
I have to say this, but you almost need someone to cheat, you know, as in football cheat. You need someone to actually create and just go away from the ball for a while, just to break it up.
Free kick to Lepich, and as you heard by the Gabba crowd, they're very happy to receive it.
It's a bit like this. I know it was a free kick, but it hasn't quite been the flow you need.
Well, this is very static at the moment from Lepich. In the end, forced to just chip it to Ashcroft. And Carlton have done a very good job of manning up. There's pairs all over the ground at the moment. And Ashcroft kicks to one of those pairs, being Beaumont and Bradshaw. At the back, McKay takes them on, gives it to Franchina. Couldn't quite. He gave it up to Lappin now. There's a chance for the Lions. Inside the 50. Going back and reading it well was O'Reilly. Dropped it. Power to Hart. Can he get onto his left foot to finish off? Oh, Sean Hardy just drags it right. So inside the 50 stats would be quite interesting to look at. Brisbane haven't been up there much.
Champion! Stay on him!
The Lions needed that one. 6-3 to 1-2. Just under 5 minutes remaining to quarter time. Hickmott. Christou, great to see him back after that chronic back injury. Beaumont told to play on. Kicks towards centre wing. Hamill on a long lead. He's quick and he's beautifully built. He's pushed in the back though and takes a free kick.
Just inside 50s, Matthew, 14 to Carlton, 7 to Brisbane, so it's twice as many.
Aaron Hamill now up to true centre wing.
Took a while.
I was just trying to think back.
Here's Matthew Lappin for Carlton, started on the bench, now getting a bit of action. Lepich been good in defence. Oh, that's a poor hand pass though. Had to go back and retrieve it himself. And then floats the hand pass over the top. Scott. Voss at half-back. Michael Voss last week made a slow start as well, but came good and was among the best players on the ground. He was reasonably slow to start today. Look at through midfield, the Blues. Absolutely sensational through there. Houghton gets the ball up, and Hickmott has another chance. He might be too far out to score. He kicks out towards the forward pocket, looking for Bradley, the veteran. Knocked away from him by Power, and the ball goes out of play. It's Tim Notting on Bradley, and it'll be a throw in the forward pocket. Carlton back into attack, and in midfield, they're just cutting them up.
Another strong mark by Hickmott there. Finds himself floating to that area just outside the forward 50 as Ratton smother from White. Ratton butters up for the second time, did well, got it forward. Malloy there with Hamill, got a hand on his. Hickmott with a free kick to Jared Malloy.
Well, it makes a difference. I mean, playing in front from a pack, I mean, they've already kicked 3 goals.
Out of pack situations by just
you might as well play in front. Let him jump on you once every 100 times.
White.
Free kicks are now 6-3, but Brisbane have had the last 2, so no wonder the crowd were going crook.
Hart's run on. He's going to be caught by Camporelli. A little nudge in the back, but his kick towards Lynch. Silvani edges him out the way. Falls back for Dean Rice. Rice the kick up the middle. Fletcher misses it. Ratton will clean up for Carlton as he so often does. Beaumont outside his defensive 50. The lead from Whitnell, the punch from Leppich. Lappin couldn't quite take it cleanly. Christou getting plenty of possession in the first quarter. Here's that contest again, Malloy and Hamill. Malloy the spoil, searching for the boundary line. Hamill chasing it. White getting there. Kept it in. Kurtafidis is caught. Play on the call. Champion. And it is going back. No, it was called holding the ball by umpire John Harvey, and the free kick will go to Scott. He switches to Johnson. He's got a mile to go.
A chance here for the Lions. Johnson's kick to true centre-half back to Ashcroft. Freshened after his run of 170 straight games came to an end. Back to Johnson. Up to Bradshaw. Not this time. Gets behind Beaumont to Rice. Overrun by Rice. Bradshaw in with a show.
Right.
Luke Power.
Right.
Lawrence. Beats the tackle of Silvani and hits the post.
Good work there all round, I thought. Bit stiff in the end.
Lawrence and Silvani, that's like a time warp. Their fathers might have done something like that too.
Just a good work by McKay, just right at the end, just did enough to force the kick to go wide from Lawrence to hit the post. As Christou kicks in once again, far too easy from Carlton. They formed the huddle, then McKay broke, and McKay searching for Lapp on the wing. It'll be too far for him. It'll be a boundary throw-in right in front of us here.
Interesting with that huddle in the middle there, the Brisbane players haven't reacted yet to get a couple of outriders, just to sit outside, just to break it up a bit. If you go man on man, you're usually going to get beat. Yeah,
you just got to have some sitting in the hole. And there's a free kick that'll go to Trent Noble. He was a bit surprised. O'Reilly pleading his case. As so often you see, the taller of the two ruckmen getting the advantage. So Trent Noble, his 3rd AFL game, his 1st on home soil here at the Gabba. Long kick, he got some distance. Lynch with strength gets the mark. Well, it's his first touch. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities. After Blighty, we saw him early in the season after a poor start with his kicking. He really has been on song over the last 7 or 8 weeks.
It's been very good. He's been running underneath the ball. The ball's been a bit high for him, and Silvani's a past master of pushing players under the ball, just with his body fairly.
Don't beat Silvani with strength like that too often.
Oh, he's a strong boy, Alistair.
Look at all the Carlton players. They're all in this one half of the ground too.
So Lynch from 40 metres, no problems. That's his first, and a much-needed goal for the Lions. It's their second, right before quarter time.
Alistair Lynch getting his first goal in a marking contest against Stephen Silvani. Back in the middle, Noble, but he knocks it straight down to Houghton. Houghton clears towards the 50. Over O'Reilly it goes. Voss giving chase. Great pick-up. A hand pass away, just up in the air, made it tough for Ashcroft. Running onto it, White. Now Champion, up to half forward. This is better for the Lions. Bradshaw.
Gee whiz, he called it that centre bounce stuff. If Noble can actually get his hands and get some system in there with Houghton, he's just not going to get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
But you've got to play it smart. It's no good being tall and not having anyone else around you to help you. He's only a kid.
Knocked it straight to his opponent. Now Daniel Bradshaw. This is for 2 goals in a row for the Lions. They're disappointed behind, and that's not even close. A behind.
Katrina singling behind. In contrast, Bradshaw, who is such a good kick, lately his kicking has been way off the boil. So Lynch and Bradshaw have almost swapped roles when it comes to set shots. But the Lions look to have steadied, even though the margin is still 23 points. And once again, they run it out from the kicking quite easily. Ratton with some time. Spots up O'Reilly.
They're going to have to go to a zone. It's just a cakewalk at the moment.
Well, they've got quarter time to think about what they'll do on kick-ins and also about how things have travelled. But from Carlton's point of view, they would be very happy with their first quarter at a ground which they haven't had a lot of success at. They lead 6-3 to 2-4, 23 points. Lance Whitnell with 3 early goals, together with Hamill and Hickmott.
Wonderful scene here and a chance for the Lions to regroup at quarter time. Great opening quarter by the Blues. 6-3-39 to the Lions, 2-4-16, and Lance Whitnell with a hat-trick in the first term.
The Coca-Cola AF.
Watching on match day, Malcolm.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Just sent a hit out 7-1 too. So the Brisbane boys have done well, as you would think they would. But it's really just been the collection of the... And Camperella running off the back, ratting in tights has been terrific. So their midfield's worked pretty well.
But Lee Matthews would have his problems here at quarter time. What do you think he's got to do, Mal?
Well, I just think that by putting Hart in the middle, then Camperelli went with him. So that just opened up the forward line again. Instead of playing 7 versus 5 at the end, it was 6 and 6. So it just gave a bit more space to run. And just the kick-outs, hopefully they'll go back to a zone because the man-on-man's not working.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been so easy, their kick-outs, as far 1 and then 2. Trying to man up, but... You know,
so it's times like this it becomes a test for the coach?
Oh, yeah.
It's always a test, isn't it?
Well, it is, because the scoreboard said it's a test now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, it's fair enough. I mean, Lee's just let him play and just see what happened. Now that's the time you think, well, you've got a bit of time at quarter time to actually think about it, work your way through it.
Well, Victoria Carthew's down on ground level, and she has John Worsfold with her.
And we've got to keep our work rate up. We had a good start last week as well and then fell away a bit, let the opposition in. So try and keep our run going now.
Good to keep the crowd out of the equation. How are the boys coping with the heat?
Yeah, no problems. Yeah, it's actually cooled down a little bit with the cloud cover, so I think they're all right.
Good to see Porter getting his hands on it early, but the midfield got plenty of ball for you.
Yeah, he's worked himself back into the game, which is great to see.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to us.
Good on you, Vic. Thanks, Woosha. With plenty of experience and twice captain in a grand final winning side. Porter making a return to AFL football after more than a season and a half out of the action. His last senior game being round 22 in 1998.
Interesting, Drew. Then Hart went back to the back of the square. Camperelli went with him, and then all of a sudden Hart's gone down to full forward. So Camperelli has to make a decision then. That's what I call pro-action.
Well, his decision is to go to the wing.
And that's taken Adrian Hickmott down to full back, who's been a good player on the wing.
So the bounce in the middle to start the second quarter, and Porter wins it clearly for the Blues. Well, he's not doing much to get it out, and you are being caught holding the ball, Craig McRae.
Just going back to those tactics, I mean, it doesn't win, but it wasn't working before, so the change has been made. But that was hard. It's hit into a player's boot, and I reckon umpires should know that. You actually attempted to get it out.
They never took possession of it.
Yeah.
Craig Bradley with the free kick. He was absolutely remarkable in the round 1 game against Brisbane at Optus Oval. Hot day, virtually midsummer, and he killed them. And this is pinpoint to McKay drifting up to take the mark. The forwards were brilliant in the first quarter, with Whitnell kicking 3 and Hamill kicking 1 goal 2. And now Andrew McKay kicking from about the 50, taking a fair run up at it. Had a fair bit of backman about that one. High and away to the right.
You can't say that anymore, can you, Drew?
I know, they're versatile.
Yeah.
Did you love the look of that kick?
No, I didn't like the look of the kick, but gee, Justin Leppich wouldn't say that. He loves to get up and kick goals. O'Reilly and Lappin now back on the bench there with Massey, and Freeborn just out of picture. So the first score of the second quarter, just the behind to McKay, as Johnson, gee, that didn't look good off the boot, but it found White quite easily.
Easy spot to get a kick away from there. It's always a safety spot.
To Ackermanis, he's away. Kicks towards centre forward, big pack forming, spills over the back. Carlton will have the numbers and should relieve. Fletcher got it out wide. Hume missed it. Ashcroft's got 2 to beat because Hickmott's come in to lend support, and coming in late now is Johnson. Applied the tackle, and perhaps a little bit late on Hume after he'd got rid of it. He'll now search for the boundary, gets it, and a ball up in front of the northern stand here. Just
another tactical ploy. Many balls have gone over the back of the Brisbane forwards. Carlton players running to the back. We haven't seen a Brisbane player run to the back of the pack yet. And sometimes you've got to change it up. You've got to do that.
Free kick will go to Ratton, who had 11 possessions in the first quarter. Whitnell on the lead now. With him, Leppich. The kick up and under. Leppich left hand gets the cross. Just what a batsman likes. The ball to sit up so you've got time to make a jump at it. So it's still the 4-goal margin.
So it's somebody like Luke Power who's got to run goalwards and get the flip over the back of a pack.
Yeah, you've got to change it up, but when it's just not quite working for them, so you just run to the back. Just
look at Craig Bradley. What a mark.
Well, Akamanis has been beaten twice in the air now. That's just not, he's a ground player, but you've actually got to practice your punching skills as well. And Mackay beat him before, and now Bradley.
Well, there's the oldest man in the competition doing what he's really not entitled to be doing. And a shepherd off the play, down with Akamanis. Bradley had about a 20-metre run to centre the ball and then to a big pack. Koutafidis at ground level, flips the ball out, and a chance for Christou. He's made, he bounces it for goal.
Well, you mightn't see many better things on a footy ground than what I just saw then with Anthony Koutafidis. Have a look at this. Scoops it in one hand, picks it up the other, shelves it out, legal, and then an outside the left foot kick from his mate Ange Christou. I mean, that is classical football, and Koutafidis will get a handball probably in the stats, but what a great setup. Fantastic play from Carlton.
One of the best goals of the season, and they'll take 50% share. Koutafidis and Christou. That was outstanding football. And they're working it out of the centre once again. Bradley, who has had a quiet first quarter, has been involved heavily. Another free kick there. Crude tackle from Hart. Yeah, Bradley just the one handball in the first quarter. Already 3 times now, and he's got the kick to the run of Camporelli. So Carlton doing it quite easily at the moment. They just appear to be playing a little bit smarter.
Well, McDonald in the middle then's pushing down to the left-hand side with his right hand. That's where Carlton's sitting. He needs to now to push that offside hand in the centre ground. He's getting his hand on the ball, but it's just not working for them.
Camporelli, 19-14 for the season. This kick shouldn't present too many problems for him. Just about 30 metres on a 45-degree angle. It's just going to sneak in the right side of the post. Carlton get another one, 2 for the quarter. So Camporelli's first. And they continue to run hard, especially from the middle, and proving all sorts of problems for the Lions.
Yes, it is. Their takeaways have just been much better. And they kick off the ground. This is bad luck from Sean Hart. He chased hard. Bradley actually slipped that caused him the problem. But as a player goes to ground, you actually have to be careful. I mean, you don't need to charge, and he's already on the ground. So, yeah, but the slip probably caused that. And then an easy kick to the run of Camporelli.
Camporelli has been so damaging now. Back in the middle, 8-4 to 2 goals for. And Carlton continuing on their merry way as Porter wins in the middle. Boy, Malloy went through and crunched the pack. Socket away by Hart. He gives chase again. Run down from behind by Camporelli. Brilliant running. Mackay pick up off the deck. Hickmott to Camporelli, who leaves it for Hume. Taken by Johnson for the Lions. They need to lift and find something. Power sold into trouble. He lost it to Rice. It spills to Mackay. His hand pass too slick for Camporelli. Well, the umpire let it go for a while. It flips out the back to Rice. Hassled by Power. Still with Dean Rice. At the back, Fletcher. And hand pass just missing Hickmott. And out of bounds.
Big play that now. After so many players have spent so much energy, what happens generally in this situation? Someone can get an easy kick, and it's a crucial time now. Someone's got to dig deep here for both sides.
I'll tell you what, that's a problem when Chris Scott is picking up Cooter. Scott found himself as a ruckman for the boundary throw.
Well, the free kick was off the ball. It was a holding free kick, and it went to Hart. And he plays on to Chris Scott, who managed to get himself around the back. He's going to run into trouble. Luckily, Hart was a left footer there, and he hooked it back inside 50. Too many players inside 50. Huge punch from Mansfield. Robbins on the ground for his first touch in quite a while. And there's Mansfield tackled. Here's a chance for Lawrence. He picks it up, Koutafidis style. But it's Rice there for Carlton. Needs support, gets it. Bad handball, they're going to give it up. Here's Fletcher searching for the boundary, or Koutafidis. Cooter keeps it in as only he can. Back towards Franchina. Power there for the Lions. Franchina grabs him. Umpires are willing to let it go. Now it spills out to Lawrence. Ducks under Cooter Feedy's tackle. It's still going. The whistle's been put away. Mansfield, he gets caught high. It's still going. It'll go forever. Boundary throw in. And listen to the Gabba crowd. They want the deliberate kick from John Harvey. And he says, no way.
Signs of the game's closing up a bit.
That's hard work.
Yeah.
That is hard work.
Here's Cooter Feedy's with Notting. Falls down towards Scott. Scott around the body. Needs a chest mark there. McDonald, the big fella, can he pick it up? He can't. Going through Christo. Another solid tackle. And it'll be another ball up. Gee, it is hard work at the moment. It's real hard stuff to get clear with a possession. Almost impossible at the moment.
Well, when you've only got 2 players over the halfway mark in the Carlton forward line, this is what happens. It's tight footy, but is it the right thing for footy? Is my question.
26 players inside the forward 50 at the moment for Brisbane. Tap, Ashcroft, round the body. Gee, it looks all right. Great touch on the line by Simon Beaumont just to behind.
Certainly a different looking game from what it was in the first quarter.
As we watch this snap, just when you fall forwards by standing up, if Daniel Bradshaw could have just stood up then and actually keeps the player away from the ball more, his reach, some players fall over like that, just lean forward, gives players a chance to touch it.
Christo had kicked in, but the whistle's gone and Craig Bradley is going off with the blood rule. Freeborn comes on for the Blues.
And Brisbane still going man on man in their zone. So here we go. Accidents happen in these situations.
That was the tightest bunch at centre half back I think I've ever seen as Christo kicks in. The first to break is Hume. And Hume, an uncontested kick in between half back and wing, almost a half forward already to Houghton. White with him. White tunnels it. The umpires are letting it go for a fair time, but now eventually the umpire comes in and will ball it up, Michael Vozzo. Chris Johnson, 5 possessions so far. Not really a super hot day here in Brisbane, so not too bad for the visitors. In fact, Melbourne gave Brisbane a hotter day down in Melbourne for round 1. It was a stinking hot day.
Hickmont, free kick goes, centres it to O'Reilly. The run was there from Fletcher, who's proving dangerous. Now on the mark, O'Reilly to play on, and terrific hard running from Brett Ratton. He's got to play in the goal square. It's a poor kick. It might not come off, and Lepage gets a hand though. Free kick. And look at Justin Lepage. Well, it's been marched back to the line there for abusive language. I didn't see it, Malcolm.
Grabbed him high, just hit him high. Oh, look. Everyone thinks I'm being critical because I say that why do that? The umpire's not going to change his mind. You can have a quiet word to him without carrying on like that.
Franchina's kicked the goal. It's Carlton's third for the corner.
It's just a pointless exercise. You can get your point across to an umpire without making him look like a dill, and that's what they do.
True, I agree, but it's also a pointless exercise for the umpire to continue talking to the player. I mean, he's made his decision. He should walk away. Like for 10 or so seconds after Lepage there, that's fair enough, Malcolm, I agree with you. But after the kick, the umpire was still talking to Justin Lepage. All it does is inflame the situation.
Well, the fiery redhead Justin Lepage giving away a 50-metre penalty. Well, it was only about 5 metres from goal, but it made it a certainty for Franchina. And Carlton have added 3 goals to 0 at the start of this second quarter and lead 9-4 to 2 goals 5. Back with umpire John Harvey in the centre. Well, the Brisbane fans, they've taken to Australian football. They reckon they know what's going on, and they're hooting at the umpires at the moment. Things not quite going Brisbane's way. Hart to Voss. The Lions need to get a few together. Kick by Voss. Scott just outside the 50. Voss doubling past. Well, he can kick him from 80. Surely he can kick one from 60. To full forward, Lynch. And a couple of times in marking contests, Lynch against Silvani, 2-0 Lynch. Alistair Lynch missed the round 1 game at Optus Oval in the hot conditions with his chronic fatigue syndrome. He was rested that day. Bradshaw replaced him and kicked 4. Lynch, well, he's got it, only just.
And a much-needed goal for the Lions. And, well, the crowd certainly want to get them involved. They're looking for a bit of a spurt. The backhander from McDonald fell to Koutafidis. They push it forward. Johnson in the right spot for the Lions. Oh, great work from Freeborn. Voss was gathered up quickly. Robbins just out the corner of his eye spotted Lappin. Give on the up to Leppich. A fumble, but he has time. He's got to go towards Bradshaw. He's got to kick it long. High ball. Bradshaw there, going over the left hand and spoiling was Mansfield. Carlton will search for the boundary. Rice ridden into the ground by Power. It's all Carlton here. Koutafidis get his hand on the ball in the second quarter. Fletcher, give, 1-2 from Hickmont, gets it back. All alone is O'Reilly. He's got 35 metres on his own. Leppich has to chase. No one inside the forward 50. He's got to go. Leppich gets there and all he can do is kick it up in the air. Will it bounce through miraculously? No, it hits the boundary post, the behind post, and it'll be a throw-in. And in effect, really, that's a good result for Carlton because they had no one up there whatsoever. And now they've got a boundary throw-in.
Darren Hulme limping off. He looks in a bit of trouble, actually. I just caught my eye. He couldn't run forward to help out O'Reilly.
Big leap by White at the back. And the ball's closer to the 50-metre line. It was a great chase by Leppich, though. Took out his anger on the opponent, got down there.
He's still angry.
Oh, yeah. And there's Hume. Back of the leg, hamstring. That'd be the bad news for the Blues. There's Voss crunching into Silvani. Stars all around the park here today at the Gabba. Umpire Harvey says the ball's held in. Temper's fraying a little bit. Well, Brisbane, they've beaten the Blues up pretty badly the last couple of times here at the Gabba. So far, they've been beaten up today. And there might be a bit of a schoolyard scrap before this day's over. Whistle's been put away again. The players hesitated there as though there was going to be a whistle, or left it to each other, and eventually the ball back out of bounds. Roy playing in defence the last couple of weeks. Koutafidis in ruck, and once again Scott his opponent and gets into his back. So that matchup makes it interesting when you get to a boundary throw-in. Kouta becomes a ruckman. What does Scott do?
Struggles.
Free kick to Kouta, and look at this. Whitnell leading away from Leppich. He's had a frustrating few minutes, Justin Leppich.
Well, that's the beauty of Koutafidis. At the moment, it's if you get the small on him, he can actually tear you apart in ruck work.
Whitnell frees 4th. And that didn't leave the boot well, away to the right.
So the margin now straight 6 goals as Darren Hume gets a good long hard stretch on that left hamstring. And Carlton employing the zone here as Chris Johnson wanting some options for Brisbane. Leppich is his desired pick. Hamill with a spoil. Play on over the back. Leppich wanted the free kick. Carlton playing with the whistle. Ratton. Hickmont in the middle. We had Freeborn. Carlton players everywhere. They should get a free possession inside 50. His kick up towards Whitnell might bounce through. It will. It's a goal to Freeborn. Well, it's a terrific goal in the end of Freeborn, but Carlton playing with a whistle at the moment, Malcolm. Brisbane just appear to be frustrated and worry about other things rather than the ball in their man.
Well, you're talking about Justin Leppich because of what happened beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't do you any good. And all you're trying to do is perhaps in a commentary role is actually try and help a player in some way they might hear it, you know. But you're right. He played for the free kick. He looked around the umpire, didn't come. All of a sudden, they're off.
Well, Justin Leppich's one mistake about 6 or 7 minutes ago, and he's bleeding from the nose. That cost them a goal, but you wouldn't want to hope that it goes on and costs them 3 or 4. He was definitely playing for the free kick then and stopped playing the game. Carlton finished up with a goal. And now his day's getting worse because he's going off to be patched up.
Look, we all know he's a marvellous player.
Yeah.
You can't win. So why would you waste breath on it? And people think I'm being critical when I say that. I'm not. All I'm trying to do is say, look, you can't win. And he did by playing to the free kick. You know what? I watched him after because he was pretty annoyed. He stood there and could have easily gone and picked up Freeborn with that kick. You know that?
Let's have a look at this injury to Justin Leppich. Freeborn is the man who kicked the goal. Leppich coming in.
So, I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, it's as desperate as anything. You know, we know all that with him. You can just control that emotional side of it, I think. I mean, you've got to play on the edge a bit. But I reckon there's a line.
The blood rule might have saved him being dragged by Lee. He might have been in a bit of trouble if he'd kept on going like that.
Oh, yeah, it's not as though he's not trying.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, just... straight to that spot again.
Yes. And Ratton out of the middle for the Blues. To a pack at centre-half forward. Punched by Lynch, who's gone to defence. And they need to stop this rush on by the Blues. Camporelli and Whitnell beats Lynch. And Whitnell now will be kicking for his fourth again.
And who was the best in and under player in the competition? If you put a vote in, you'd probably say Brett Ratton is as good as anyone. He's just reading that hand on his right hand push. Going to get a lot of the ball.
He's had 16 possessions already, and we're at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter. 4 goals to Whitnell.
It's pretty simple football, isn't it? Get the ball out the middle, kick it to a teammate who kicks the goal.
Well, not just getting out the middle. They run in waves as soon as it goes forward. I mean, often their midfielders are crumbing off the punch from here with Lynch. And McKay had run forward, and there's Camporelli. So it's a pretty clinical performance at the moment by Carlton. Five goals to 1 in the second quarter. Whitnell has 4. Lynch replacing Leppich while he's attended to with the blood rule. But it's all Carlton as Noble taps it down towards Lappin. But all the players there for Carlton in the right spot. Voss trying to barge through. There again is Freeborn.
In fact, that time Carlton had 3 on their defensive side, so they're just reading it.
So, replay. Now it's a different situation. And Houghton gets Noble under the ball. Robbins, check side kick from up and under. Nodding with the spring. Takes the mark. Looks to play on. Kicks to a one-on-one contest in the goal square. Up there is Bradshaw and the ball goes out of bounds. Crowd want another free kick. No, it's gone through forward behind. So, scoring becoming very difficult for the Lions.
It was a nice jump in front, wasn't it?
Nodding.
Yeah.
Oh, he can jump.
Yeah.
He's got the best vertical jump.
Craig Bradley has been patched up. And this is an uncontested mark to Christou, still in the back pocket. And the Blues looking the real goods. They've won 10 in a row, going for 11 here today. Comes off McKay and the ball out of bounds. We've been raving about Essendon, who last night completed an unbeaten run of 16 at the start of this season. But Carlton have just been going along behind them, and they are heading for 11 today. McKay to Camporelli. Camporelli cutting them up. And a beautiful mark by Hamill. Deep in the centre square, though, kicking half to goal. Silvani. Out wide. Camporelli has covered 100 metres. Phenomenal running by Scott Camporelli. To Whitnell. And you can't stop this Blues outfit.
No, sometimes it's hard to stop class, and Camporelli was just class from the boundary line after the quick give and then the run. That's about a 120-metre run, and then to finish off with composure.
Whitnell again, and he's missed. So he started with 3 straight, and now he's got 4 goals too. Would they be threatening to be a better unit than they were in '95, Malcolm? Carlton, when they lost only 2 for the year? Gee, they're getting a real good unit going now.
The answer to that's...
You can't compare, really.
No.
Can you?
Not yet.
No, not yet. No. They have... And not too far away from goal, and the kick was perfect, mind you.
Perfect kick from Lappin, and, well, this time he's going for number 5.
And this will be for his 50th goal of the season.
So he'll get to the 50 mark. He'll do it eventually, even if he doesn't get this one, but The amount of traffic coming his way, or the amount of ball coming down the forward line, as Jared Malloy has to go off with the blood rule. And interesting, Richard Champion coming on, not Justin Lepich. So one of two things there. He maybe taking a little bit longer to patch up Justin Lepich than expected. So Malloy having a word there with assistant coach Scott McIver. So back to Lance Whitnell for number 5. A huge lead coming for the Carlton side. He's got it, and they're now out by 54 points.
Well, I think we all came here today expecting some sort of contest. You know, Brisbane appeared to be coming back. They have had some injuries. Allen out. We all thought at some stage or other that this might be some sort of game, but Carlton have made a lot of pundits eat their words, I suppose, but it did look hard on paper for them, more difficult than some they've had of recent times, but gee, haven't they reacted beautifully. This is a real good team.
Now Darryl White's gone to Lance Whitnell. He's knocked up seeing off opponents, Whitnell, and he's kicked 5 goals too. What a performance by the Blues. 12-6 to 3 goals 6. Eventually ball knocked out by Noble, but Carlton get it. Bradley to Camporelli in midfield. Absolutely fantastic. Matthew Lappin gets it back from Camporelli. Another possession for Campo. This kick floats, and Koutafidis.
I couldn't believe how hard that was. That was really a floating ball, and he took it away from his body. It was a great mark.
And he's just in the sort of nick at the moment. He'll go back and slot this through.
And look at this ball. It just wobbles and dips, and it just got away from him, but he's still caught it like a cricket ball. Kudo from 50. What a kick. The Blues putting on a clinic and giving Brisbane a farther of a hiding.
Interesting, John Worsfold's talking to Victoria Quarter Time then talked about we faded away last week, and it looked as though there's been a bit of resolve. You know, when Adelaide came back in them last week, and you think, well, gee, they haven't taken their foot off the pedal this time, have they? So it was obviously a very strong message from the coaching fraternity at Carlton.
Koutafidis first, and if you've just joined us, getting in late for the game, you're expecting a close one here at the Gabba. It's a 60-point margin to the Carlton Blues as Lappin clears it out of the centre. First time for a while for Brisbane, forcing it forward. That's Headland on the ground. He's caught high. Play on is the call. Nodding. Springing out of the congestion and then hooking it back, hooking it high, needing some help. Ball comes to ground quickly. Quick kick out of nowhere. And it's a behind. That was from Desi Headland again, was it?
I was just having a look behind the play there. There were only 4 players behind the centre circle. Carlton, just as soon as the ball went forward, the whole team just ran down. Makes it very difficult to get clean possession.
That point kick by Headland, who's playing just his 3rd game for the season, 6th for his career. Ball took a while to come out of the crowd. And Camporelli, well, we won't give him a stat for this kick in, but what a game he's had. And look at the bunch at centre half back. And they've worked it well. Mansfield has got there, but got there too late, and was the height in front. And Trent Noble drags down the mark. Number 45, just in his 3rd AFL game. Noble, a mighty kick. For the 2nd time today, he's kicked it out of sight. And the punch gets it through for a behind. But the bloke who was the former swimmer at Broadbeach can kick a footy.
Can get some distance, can't he? That's a couple of times we've seen today.
Gee whiz, if he can get any more of it, he's going to be dangerous, isn't he? Oh, look. That's the first one they've stopped too, that last one.
Yeah. Hegmont got it from Camporelli. His kick not getting past the contest between Lappin and Massey.
Yeah, one of the problems, of course, with the umpires standing in that central group, if you hang on, you're gone. And quite frankly, just to go backwards and forwards a few times, very hard to stop it running out wide.
Boundary throw in Noble against O'Reilly. Bradley got past a couple of tackles, then forces it forward to the centre of the ground. Malloy used his body, got it out towards Power, who's now further up the ground. Little give over to Ashcroft. All the players in the one half of the ground at the moment, virtually except for Whitnell and White. very congested as Nottingham is tackled by Rice, and the ball is over for another boundary throw. And so Carlton prepared to get the numbers back, get a congested area, and then run. And run hard.
Reckon it's great for footy, this?
No, I don't think it is. No.
I'm glad. So I don't.
And you don't see enough one-on-one contests. But Ratton, who is just getting possessions at will, kicks it forward. Once again, here's Lappin in the right spot. Spotted a player. The left foot is good. It's brilliant, actually. Houghton. Now they've got another player running. And that player is Hickmott. Hickmott goes in for another one for the Blues. And half-time just can't come quick enough for Brisbane. That's 8, Drew. 8 for the quarter.
Yep, 8 goals, 3 for the quarter after a 6-goal, 3 first quarter. And Brisbane have kicked 1-4 in this term. Well, tell you what, Blighty, it might be good for football, but it's certainly not good for football in Brisbane. They've come here expecting a huge day, and they are stunned. Houghton in ruck. Noble beats him. Koutafidis just sweeps it across to Bradley, and there'll be another goal coming up here. The kick by Bradley. Whittle has to double back. White is there. Whittle! Oh, couldn't White get to it.
Same spot?
Yeah, same spot. When a graph's done of this game, you'll just see that the Carlton just play that one side on the right-hand side, and just make a cakewalk out of the middle. It's
reminiscent of Brisbane against the Kangaroos in the second quarter, where they kicked 10, where they were winning the knock as well to the same spot.
Yeah.
Well, the Lions a chance to counter-attack, just looking for their second goal for the term. What hope against this Carlton outfit. Oh, Mansfield showed him the ball and took it away, and the kick is pinpoint, and Hickmott has kicked 2 already. Is well within range to kick his third. Great system by the Blues.
Don't forget, you're 2 young ruckmen too. I mean, you know, under pressure, you do the natural thing, you know, not the taught thing.
Hickmott. Oh, goal!
They're at the top of their form, aren't they, Carlton? And some days are diamonds, and I've got a feeling this is one of them for them.
Matty, in your days at Carrara, when you were struggling, you wouldn't have taken too many hidings like this even then, would you?
Certainly not by half-time. We did take a hiding against a certain Geelong side coached by a certain Channel 7 expert commentator.
I was there.
Over 4 quarters, which we try not to talk about, but this is Hickmott. 3rd goal, and this is Carlton's best quarter ever, best second quarter ever against Brisbane. They have just piled it on, 9 goals for us, and they've still got time for some more.
Yes.
Scott out of the middle. Here's Ackermanis running onto a free ball, and it went over the back, much to Blighty's delight and much to Jason Ackermanis' delight, because he has kicked a goal for Brisbane.
Well, I need another dozen or so. That was a good goal. Good play out the middle. That's what we're looking for. And what the young fella tried to do in ruck then was actually tried to punch it rather than just tap it. So it actually kind of just upset the momentum of the Carlton blokes in the midfield. And then Jacob Ackermanis is a goal kicker, and that's his goal, isn't it? Running on to loose balls.
Ball back in the middle, and Brisbane have just kicked their second goal for the term. But in the meantime, Carlton have kicked 9. And there's time left for more. 2.5 minutes to go. Noble hands to it, Rice. Back he goes to Camporelli. Flips the ball up to Franchina. Wide to Lappin, who works Lawrence under the ball. O'Reilly. The Lions need to get this out of here. The umpire has let it go a few times today, but this time he blows the whistle and we'll get a ball up. Well, Leppich looks as though he might have had the staples or a stitch. He's been on the bench a while to be patched up.
Interesting move too. Brett Ratton's gone forward, just probably for rest. Luke Power's gone with him.
Goes Carlton's way again. Craig Bradley. Kick by Bradley is high. Cooter! About fourth in line. When you've got a leaping forward like that, Bradley just hoisted it in the air. And what chance did Chris Scott have there?
No, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame the lad for that. He's tried to have a crack at it from in front. I don't reckon you do more than that. You just bow sometimes to an opponent.
This for the Blues' 10th goal for the term. And the champs missed it. Well, that is a surprise to everybody.
Just looked at Craig Bradley then. You know, he's really starting to get in the game then. He actually took a punt at that throw-in, or a ball up. He just ran forward. You know, he created a momentum. And I just got this sense of feeling that when you get in this situation, that the Brisbane players are just sitting back a bit, and it never works that way, footy.
Well, flicked out the back to Fletcher, got it to Houghton, got it to Koutafidis. Will he make amends because he's got some space in front of him? He runs to the 50, he just tugs it left, and it's got... Well, who else? Scott Camberelli, right on the line. He wants to play on, he spotted a player, it's going to come back. Andy McKay, but Koutafidis has had a big second quarter. He has now 16 possessions. That's 10 for the quarter. And Camberelli has had 7 and 7. That's not a good kick from him. That won't score. So, a bit of a wry grin there from Scotty. He's just had an amazing season.
Good teamwork, wasn't it?
He should have done better, really, Koutafidis. He got inside the 50, just dragged his, planted his left foot, which caused the right foot to drag across the ball. And Brisbane are mucking around with it a little bit. Out towards Malloy. Here's Cooter. Malloy. And here's a man that needs to get hold of it for Brisbane. Voss. Towards Bradshaw. Over the back. Beaumont with Ackermanis. Numbers for Carlton. Freeborn now. They're away. Here they go again. The Blues machine. McKay. Fletcher ran 20 metres hard and just pops it up to O'Reilly. Malloy did well to get in late. Just did enough right in time. Hart's handball was a little bit in hope. White. Forced towards the boundary. Scott under pressure, forced to kick it back into the middle. Freeborn have another go at it for Carlton.
Freeborn in between wing and half forward. To centre half forward he goes with the kick. It works to the back and a juggled mark. Good effort. Lepich just back on the ground. Nearly out of time in this first half. A dominant first half by the Blues. 15-8 to 4 goals 8. Ashcroft to Hart. They'll run out of time to kick a goal. Ashcroft needs to be quick. Down the middle. And the siren beats him just as he was getting himself towards range. And that is half-time. In one of the greatest hidings the Lions have taken in a half of football in the last 2 seasons. What a performance by the Blues. And the memory does fade, but I can't imagine they played any better than that at any stage in '95 when they lost only 2 games on the way to the flag.
36-minute quarter, that quarter, considering the amount of goals kicked by Carlton. Who said we only play 20-minute quarters?
Well, some have the view that probably the game is too long because of that. But anyhow, what can you say? I mean, it was just an awesome quarter from Carlton.
Yes, an awesome quarter. Whitnell with 5 already, and so many good players right all over the ground. Hickmott has 3. There is Lance Whitnell. Still another 2 quarters for him to add to that.
Well, is there any coming back from this? A 66-point lead to the Blues at half-time.
The AFL Premiership Season 2000, brought to you by Harvey Norman, the new 3-litre turbo diesel petrol, and the bank that helps businesses make it happen.
Just wait, just wait.
The all-new Pulsar is just around the corner. So if you're thinking of buying a new car, just wait.
Just wait till you drive it.
New Strepsils Extra with local anesthetic gently numbs a sore throat, bringing rapid relief.
Ah, there's that ad again. What ad? You know, the one with the dog on the bottle?
It's not a dog. It's a Tasmanian tiger.
Huh?
There's none left, you know.
What, they sold out?
No, no more Tasmanian tigers. They're extinct, although a lot of people reckon they're still out there in the Tasmanian wilderness.
Well, this one's definitely extinct.
Cascade Premium Light. It's the best light beer you'll ever taste.
Well, welcome back to the Gabba, where this large crowd, a record crowd, has been stunned by the first half performance by the Blues. And when the Lions came back out, there was warm applause around the Gabba. But to me, it sounded like how they used to clap when Jim Higgs came out to bat, making him feel good.
It's a bit harsh.
No, look, as I said, I think we're all in a bit of shock.
Yeah.
I think the whole stadium is, and it's really been Carlton that, structurally have just been sensational. As we look at some of the stats here from the Brisbane Lions, and Sean Hart's got some kicks, but Camporelli's been super, and Scott's been under enormous pressure at the back with Kuda-Fides. He's had 16 or so, and they're pretty light on stats really. And would you believe they're about 80 odd in total down on Carlton? Carlton can over-possess the ball, but a fair bit of it's been pretty positive today. And we look at Whitnell with 5 goals. Hickman's got 3. 16 to Kuda-Fides, 15 to Camporelli, and 18 to Ratton, and that's the real heartbeat of the side in the middle of the ground. And those 3 players have all been sensational, as have the defence. Mackay, Christou, they've all been very good at the back as well.
Well, 80 stats down at half-time. What's that? That's about 6 or 8 players behind.
In that second quarter.
Yeah, stats are important. I mean, if you don't get them, you don't kick a goal. So. But it's just been they've been so purposeful with those stats, haven't they? Let's see if we can get a slightly different structure in the centre of the ground here. Just see if they try something different, Brisbane. There's Ratton on that right arm, just left of umpire there.
On left of picture, it looks like Michael Voss has now gone to Kuda. Well, good luck. So we start the second half with the Blues already leading by 66 points, and McDonald wins in the middle, and the Lions go forward for the first time. Lappin, a very high ball. They want to mark on the forward line. Well, Bradshaw was camped underneath it and had little chance. And the leap at the back came from Headland, and the ball's gone out of bounds in the forward pocket. Well, the Blues from defence through to midfield, through to the forward line have been absolutely sensational. Porter making his first league appearance for a couple of seasons. Gets a free kick here. There's one over the shoulder. Advantage goes to McKay. His kick is smothered off the boot by Notting. Oh, Bradley back to McKay, who kept on running. Great footy by the Blues. They're just quicker thinking about things. Malloy takes the mark at half-back, beating Houghton. And Scott may appreciate a different role than he had for the last quarter and a half when he was trying to pick up Kuda-Fides. Comes to Power, who's now gone onto the back line for the Lions. Out to Notting. Notting wide to the wing. And Voss is running off Kuda-Fides here at the moment. Can't damage her from there. They want to mark again on the forward line. The punch by Massey, who gets a run for the Blues. Bradley, a backhander, gets it outside the 50. Voss, another chance. Oh, didn't see the second tackle coming. And Michael Voss, lucky that the whistle didn't blow, and it's play on. The Lions still have it, but they're under pressure. The Blues are a mile in front and tackling as though their lives depend on it. And here's a free kick coming back to the Lions, and Bradley and Camporelli, none of them too happy about it.
Pretty indicative of the play, isn't it? Voss just been indecisive then, a few of the players indecisive.
Ashcroft, the recipient of the free, kicking along. Now there's a 50-metre penalty. So, whilst Carlton have been outstanding, nothing has really gone right for Brisbane so far in this game, and a little bit of luck there. So Marcus Ashcroft will get taken right up to the goal square for the kick. Just the 8 goals this season for the veteran, 234 games. So Ashcroft to get the first goal for the second half off one step. It's good enough, it's there.
And that's the first time Brisbane have got the first goal after the start of the game, or the start of the second quarter. So yeah, so maybe, just maybe, and that was good work by Bro McDonald in the middle, and it was a real thump forward and cleared that area that we've been talking about and gave the Brisbane Lions a chance to run onto it.
So McDonald again, and there'll be a majority of the people here. There's Porter. The majority of people here would want it to be a closer game, except for the Carlton supporters who just want more goals. Here they go. Hickmont getting it clear, up and under. Big pack forming, coming out and attacking the ball was Scott. Couldn't get it. Now they've got some runners. Malloy charges up the middle. McDonald, Lappin. Scott Voss further upfield. Good handball forward. Here goes Voss. Bradley arriving late, but he got his kick. Going back, Lynch with some strength. Good punch over the top. A chance from McRae down in front. The second punch. Carlton doing well. Ashcroft for 2 in a minute. Short. Lynch. So the Gabba crowd getting a little bit of return for their support. Lynch in front. But, well, from back, it was Malloy who took him on.
Yes, proactive.
Proactive. Chanced his arm, decided to run, and it was there. So Lynch has 2. Lions looking for their second for the quarter. Lynch has 3.
Well, interesting stage now, and just didn't quite get enough elevation, but Lynch in front, as he has been most of the day when played up full forward. And 3 goals. He's probably won his position, hasn't he? I mean, Silvani hasn't done a lot wrong, but haven't been into play a lot. Jared Malloy really was a good attacking play from half-back.
Koutafidis has now gone forward for the Blues, being picked up by Darryl White as he was at the start of the game. And Voss in midfield is just starting to see a bit of it in this start of the third quarter. Ball socket off the ground by Christou. Ackermanis gives chase. Don't think there'll be any handstands today from Jason Ackermanis. And he ball over the boundary line, so throw in.
No, it's been called throw from Ackermanis handball.
Okay. Free kick to the Blues to be taken by Craig Bradley. Matthew Lappin. His cousin Nigel on the opposition side today. Both from Chilton in northern Victoria. And here's Koutafidis. Kicked by Lappin, pinpoint. Kouta had a couple of big tries in the second quarter unsuccessfully, and he wasn't happy about the distance out from goal, but Ange has a shot at it. Gets the distance all right, but hooks it. And the goal that Ange Christou kicked in the second quarter after a hand pass by Koutafidis just had to be seen to be believed.
It wasn't a bad kick either, was it? Christou's off the side. It was just a terrific goal. One that'll be right up there at the end of the season. The nomination of Goal of the Year. The man that kicked the Goal of the Year last year is on screen, Jared Malloy. And from memory, I think it was at the Gabba ground against Carlton. But not today. He's down back as he kicks in looking for Lepage. McKay, great leap. Not paid, got a fair bit of it. Lepage in trouble, got a boot to ball now. Voss and Fletcher. Voss over the back was nodding, needs to provide a shepherd, does so. Voss can go all the way here, but decided to kick it up long. There's a bit of room in front of him, needs a mark. Over the back, Lynch for number 4. Coming round and goal! Well, we said something at half-time. We thought, look, 11 goals down. We just want the Lions to make a go of it and do something. At least they've started in the right vein.
Yes, they have, and They've moved all their players from the kick-house to one side. Michael Voss the kick, and once again the ball's gone over the back. Amazing, isn't it? And another goal's pinched from behind. Some teams actually play like that. Some coaches like players to push their forward under the ball. Carlton a bit like that.
The Lions have kicked 3 goals to 0 at the start of the third quarter. We've been playing just 7 minutes, and at one stage late in the second term they trailed by 71 points. Can you make a case for them? 49 is the margin now. Gee, they're going harder at it. Voss, and the umpire will ball it up. And Michael Voss has had a good start to this third term. 5 touches. Relatively quiet in the first quarter, the 96 Brownlow medalist. Ball up, and Porter is beaten in the middle by McDonald, but Ratton, who gets those tough balls, he doesn't mind to get the ball off a losing ruck. Got nearly 20 possessions in the first half, Brett Ratton. Blues have it again. Kutafides out of the middle. Whitnell. Well, Lance Whitnell has kicked 5 goals, 1, so he's up to 50 goals for the season. He kicked 6 last week, when he also kicked 5 in the first half. Right in front, 42 metres out, and he's kicked 6 for the second week in a row.
Did you see what happened then? Justin Leppick, I don't know whether his boot came off or he took it off deliberately, threw it up in the air as Whitnell kicked to try and hit the ball in the air. It'd be fascinating to see that. The umpire actually was going to pay a 50-metre penalty, and I'd have to ask the question. I agree with he shouldn't do it, but I wonder what the rule is on that.
For throwing the
boot up in the air. As he kicked for goal on the mark, Leppick threw his boot up in the air to try and hit the ball.
Probably nobody's invented the fact that somebody might do it.
You'd think technically, as we have a look at the replay.
Here we go. Here's the boot go up in the air.
I don't think you actually technically could give a 50 unless you threw the boot at the player. If you throw it behind.
Listen, you both go on. I'll just get the rule book out. You think about it, all right?
But it's academic, really, because Whitnell has 6. Terrific performance. Out of the centre once again, Carlton. Lappin in front of Lawrence. Off to the run of Hickmott. High ball. Where's Whitnell? Big pack forming. Punch. Falls down to him. There he is. Got it forward. Bradley running onto it with Hamill. Chance for Hamill. A little bit of a nudge from McManus. He clears for the Lions. Swings it out in front of Luke Power. He's got a paddock to run into. Bradley's going to have to chase hard, as is Camporelli, but Power needs to keep it in, and he does. Here he goes. Gets onto his left. On his bike, and then kicks a low ball up forward, looking for Lynch and Silvani. Silvani, good use of the body, creates the ball over for a boundary throw-in, and they've cleared it up towards the Lions Social Club. Have you found the rule yet, Malcolm?
Well, I think it might come under the heading of misconduct.
Well, it's in the same bracket as moving the goalpost.
Yeah. It's certainly putting a smell on the game, isn't it, by doing it?
One for you on Monday night to have a chat about on Talking Footy, Malcolm.
Voss to the top of the goal square. Bradshaw, terrific mark. And it's as though they've come out wearing different jumpers in the second half. The Lions have they come out strongly at the start of this second half, led by this man, Michael Voss.
Yes, great jump then. And down the line we've heard it probably is under misconduct.
Well called, Malcolm. Daniel Bradshaw right in front. 4 goals for the term for the Lions.
It's just following that up. I mean, you'd hate to think that was the last kick of a grand final or something, wouldn't you? And the ball actually hit the boot and stopped in flight.
Would you get a possession?
No, I think we'll get 50 metres. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Good trial then, good mark from Bradshaw.
Trap shooter would do all right. Russell Mark would be good at that.
Lions 4, Carlton 1 for this third term. Harvey the bounce, back in the middle. Porter did well there, got a hand on it. Once again Ratton, but he's swamped by a couple of Lions. They managed to get it forward. Bradley was on the end of it almost. Here's Whitnell, spotted Lappin. He gets a bounce that's good enough. He gets around 2 or 3 players, gives it back. Hamill. Kutafides can go from here, Kuta. And he does. Too good, Koutafidis. You just cannot afford to give him any time and space within that 50-metre arc.
No, it's interesting. Space was the key for him then. When the ball came to him, he was standing flat-footed, which is not the best way to receive the footy from Hamill. And 2 steps, sized it up, felt, sensed, and from virtually 50 metres. It's a great kick. There's some talent in that young fella.
Well, there was a purple patch there where I haven't seen all the games, but by all accounts he was best on ground about 7 times in a row. He might rack up about 21 Brownlow votes in just 1/3 of a season. So he only needs to pick up just a lazy couple more and he wins the Brownlow. Here's Camporelli. Inside the 50 again. Koutafidis. Tauhotten goes to ground, finds Bradley. Doing a bit of dancing. Too much dancing. He's gone. There's no whistle to the play. Comes back to Hickmott. And the ball down towards the pocket. Taken by Ackermanis for the Lions. He clears with a long kick out of defence. Bradley with courage. He didn't know what was coming. And Lappin took the mark. Actually came up limping after a clash with Craig Bradley. Lappin down the line towards centre wing. Lynch lost sight of it. Bradley got another touch into Camporelli. Keeps it low to centre half forward. And, well, the Lions just have trouble manning up in the back line. And the forwards for the Blues having a picnic. Lance Whitnell on a wide lead. He's gone out of the centre corridor. He's not all that much closer to goal. But Whitnell, with 6 goals, 2 to his name, would be high on confidence.
I have to say they're probably 3 of the best kicks I've seen in a row all season. I mean, they'll just pinpoint.
And here's another one for a goal.
Amazing that Camporelli's kicking has, improved that aside over the years. Each year he's added that little bit to it. He was competent, but now he's very, very good. And the kick to kick at Whitnell's side, probably a shade wide, but it's exactly what was required. Have a look at this kick here. It's gone 45 metres. Great kick. And then Hamill summed it up beautifully. And there is Whitnell already going the other way. And pretty good kick from there.
7 goals to Lance Whitnell. And we're not even halfway through this 3rd quarter, so double figures beckoning. This talented young Carlton forward coming in today with 45. He's got that to 52. Moving up the ladder. And what little surge the Lions have given, the Carlton team has arrested as it rattened back to Camporelli to Fletcher, once again on the defensive side of the centre circle. There he is again, Leppich the spoil. Coming through was Ashcroft, and it ends up with Lappin. Lappin around the body. Can he make it? No, it's out of... It was just scoring one behind, just falling in there. Lappin, who in round 1 against Brisbane, 5 goals, absolutely dominated on the forward line.
Well, the Lions had a surge, but now back to 4 goals to 3 in this quarter. The Lions are still outscoring them, but Carlton have steadied for the last couple. White comes in short. Malloy bangs it towards centre wing. 1 against 1 contest. Lawrence caught at the back. Hickmott has been excellent. He might get it back from Lappin. But Lappin kicks to Whitnell. Well, this bloke might kick anything today. He was playing on. Off the left, he goes out short. A half volley to Ratton. Ratton just gets it going Carlton's way. Lappin was clever. Ball flipped out by Franchina. Hickmott again. Power. Hickmott's had a great season. Ashcroft dispossessed. It comes to Ackermanis. Over his shoulder, but it's all Carlton. Bradley, awkward half volley, and it's taken on the toe by Lappin, out of bounds.
Just Ackermanis has cleared 3 times from that defensive post, and normally he would actually run or come back the other side. It's just a belt away, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's indicative of how he's travelling it today and the defence. They're not prepared to back themselves and run and switch. Huska's so important to that switch as well, not there today. Lappin's gone off. It looks like a caught thigh when he went for that mark. Voss trying to force it forward. McRae gets to McDonald. Power had Ackermanis running, but decides to hit Bradshaw on the lead. Ackermanis has kept on going for him. Good covering running by Camporelli. So Bradshaw, the distance won't be a problem for him. He has just the one for the afternoon already in this quarter. 1 goal, 1. So Bradshaw looking to continue the scoring at this end for Brisbane. It's coming back, it's there. 2 to Bradshaw.
It's like Nigel Lappin there, just as you mentioned, just got that corky in that contest with perhaps knee.
Perhaps the jar knee.
Yeah.
Testing there. It was that contest with Bradley on the outer side.
But once again, a good lead, good kick by Bradshaw, and yeah, it's a sort of a 50-50 game at the moment, isn't it? I mean, fluctuating backwards and forwards.
That's 5 goals to 3 to Brisbane in this third quarter. We've got a lot of leeway to make up. Can't just swap goals with the Blues. McDonald beaten by Porter, Bradley to Ratton, and the midfield. Ratton again to Whitnell again. He could kick anything today. He's got 7 goals too. 52 metres out. Home it goes!
Well, I must say I'm running out of room. Not a lot of guys kick 8, do they? 10 usually finds out my scoring system. I've got one more spot for him, so it's great skill again, isn't it? I mean, as you called it, Bradley to Ratton, Camporelli, those 3 have really been dominant players. And be interesting, you know, there's... Yes, and only kicked the 8 once before, so second time he's kicked 8, so sensational game from him.
Well, every time Brisbane kick one, Carlton come back and answer one, and most of the time it's with Lance Whitnell, who has 3 for the quarter. Power, dragged off it, it's a free kick.
Just, I know there's a game still going on here, but interesting, the midfield of Carlton, given space, I think they're probably even better kicks than the Essendon midfield.
Yeah, there's an argument for that, as Lynch takes a very strong mark inside the forward 50. He's kicked 4. He's gone back, he's spotted a player. The kick hasn't come quite right. Headland had to punch it. Comes off Beaumont's knee. There's McKay's been excellent. Got it off to Lappin, off 2 steps, found some distance. Contest for the ball, comes down. And free kick has been plucked out of that against Malloy. It's going to go to Stephen O'Reilly. They've doubled the score at the moment. 62 points is the margin. As Camporelli swinging around the wing, and lovely little kick to Whitnell. He's too far out to score. He swings it back. He's got to play out wide. It's Fletcher. 2-on-1. Hamill decides to go by himself around the corner unselfishly, and getting back and helping out was White just to punch it back. Eventually goes over for a boundary throw in. Hamill spotted a player but couldn't quite find him.
Yes,
Whitnell's giving it off as well. 11 marks, 14 kicks, 8 goals too.
Yeah, and he's playing on the All-Australian full-back too of last year.
Here's one out of the pack. Cooter just offline behind.
But in saying that also, some of the delivery's been unbelievable.
Some of the ball out of the centre from centre square bounces.
Well, Whitnell did kick 8 goals. It was in 98, round 17 against the Western Bulldogs. He kicked 8-1 at Optus Oval. So this is already his top score because he's kicked 8 too.
No one's kicked more than 7 at the Gabba since the merge. So he's piling on the records.
O'Reilly, blind hand pass, straight to the opposition. Malloy out of defence, up short of the wing. McKay, Bradley just sorts out Koutafidis. Kouta has a couple of options. Probably didn't take the best one, Porter, and he's lost it. He's turned it up there to Notting. Voss in there. Well done, Bo McDonald. Spinning ball. Silvani just hit it very hard, and he's going to hit you pretty hard. Oh, McRae. It comes to Camporelli. O'Reilly. Another chance for Whitnell. Here he is. Lance Whitnell kicking for a personal best 9 goals. And we're only just past the midway point of the third quarter.
He's a footballer. I watched him then. Just a little push off. Just as soon as his team, just before his teammate got a metre.
Away to the right, disappointing, and a behind.
There's not much room left at all on either space now. But, well, just marvellous performance. Malloy to kick in, goes short to White. In turn, short to Ashcroft.
I'd have to say, from memory, the record at the Gabba is 11 goals. Before all this was done, kicked by Bill Brown.
Billy Brownless, yes, I remember that game.
Played centre-half forward in the shortened version of the Gabba in those days. With the dog track, yeah.
Yeah, Billy could kick him from centre-half back there. There's the replay there. Johnson. Tackle applied by O'Reilly. The ball up. Half-forward flank for Carlton. Koutafidis, it falls for him. Back to Camporelli. High ball. There's Whitnell. Goes to ground. Lapping the crumbs. Hit it hard, but missed the handball. Missed Fletcher. And another boundary throw in. Camporelli, 21 possessions. Hickmott, 21. Ratton, 26. Koutafidis, 22. Lappin preparing to come back in the ground after a little bit of repair. Here's Voss. Breaking away. The kick is ahead of Robbins, who leads Bradley to it. Coming out, working hard and leading power to the ball was Freeborn. Terrific stuff. Hickmott provided the shepherd. And Freeborn's kick right on the chest. And who else? Huda.
Well, the Lions might have outscored them 5-4 so far this quarter, but in the hardball gets this quarter, Carlton 14-4.
Well, Kuda looking to make it 5-all for this quarter. And he just tugs it left, and another behind for him. 2-2 to Anthony Koutafidis, 2-3.
Well, their team pattern is just so perfect. They seem to know what their teammates are going to do, and some of the touches Carlton players have had just been a millisecond. And they whip it off to a teammate who's in a better position, and they're often running out in the clear. Ackermanis. Porter punches to the front, comes to Leppich, round the boundary line. He hasn't kicked it to a teammate, he's just gaining ground. O'Reilly lumbers after it. Silvani comes out with Lynch. I think all three players there said, phew, it's gone out of bounds.
Just great the way Silvani just lays body 10 metres away from the contest. Player running flat out, he just put him off balance just enough.
One of the pleasing things from Carlton is we look at inside 50, it's an absolute 27-60.
Bradley working as hard at this stage of his career as he's ever done, and he's the oldest man in the competition. Hart keeps it in. Well, a chance for Bradshaw to take a mark. He missed it. Headland tries to go off the ground. Well done, Massey, but Power off the ground gets the goal.
Yes, Power's got his second. He's been consistent. A quiet day like most of his teammates. But yeah, 50 times. It's a big number, isn't it? When you average over the year, it'll be about 55. You can see that's a lot of times in, as we see Luke Power just soccer that ball off the ground.
Power got the goal, his second, but a clever knock in there was from Chris Johnson to tap it towards the square, who's now on the forward line for Brisbane. Porter off. Houghton in the ruck. Koutafidis once again, same spot. And Camporelli spotted up out wide to O'Reilly, caught by Malloy. Whitnell, another kick, forced it forward, this time Ackermanis. Breaks away with it, looking for Lappin. Couldn't get the mark, but Malloy was in the right spot. They work it up the centre wing, long towards Power. He's desperate to keep it in. He did so very cleverly to McRae, and then he looks for Lynch. Over the back, it almost falls for Headland. Chance for Lynch. Silvani got a hand on it. Here's Power coming late. Can he keep it in? I doubt it. He can't. And there'll be another ball up. He's tried hard, Luke Power. He's found himself switched around a couple of times today due to the dominance of the brilliant Carlton midfield. He's back on his territorial half-forward flank at the moment. The only throw-in will be Houghton against McDonald. Ashcroft, you're gone. Who else? Koutafidis clears from inside his own defensive 50. Gets some real length on the ball. Spoil from Lawrence. Lappin did enough to Ratton. Quick give is good to Camporelli. Round the body looking for someone, but that player was Whitnell, but getting in the way was Ackermanis.
Away to Chris Scott. He's kicked to centre wing to Malloy. Good mark. but Ratton made him earn it. Malloy, this crowd's stunned. We've still got 4.5 minutes to go in this quarter, so it'll be another long term. What was the last one? 36 minutes, the second quarter. This is out of bounds at half forward. Well, footy games aren't supposed to be like this. You've got a huge crowd, a record breaker at the Gabba. Game built up as the match of the round, certainly, and almost the match of the season. And people are just stunned. McDonald a high ball. Sunny day, but it might bring rain. McKay gets it over the line, and we'll have a throw in. So the Blues do the defensive things. They do the quick by hand things out of midfield. And of course, they've had a forward line dominating with Whitnell 12 marks and 16 kicks, and so far 8 goals. On his way, you'd reckon on the strength of it, to about a dozen, you'd say.
Well, it's inside the 50 still for the Lions. Quick little gift from Powers. Good. Hart should go. And he does. So Luke Power, still trying hard, working hard. That was a clever little give. And I guess if you're a Lions supporter, you're looking for something. The positive, Malcolm, is they've kicked 7 for the quarter.
Yeah, look, you're quite right. 7-4 is good footy. So there is something in the team, isn't there? You expect that. I mean, they've got a pretty quality team. They do have a few injuries, but Carlton have just been far too clever and polished. But to win a quarter, and I'm sure that's all Lee Matthews would have said, let's make sure we finish on front on the scoreboard. Let's get some sanity back into the game.
Shaun Hart's first. His 11th for the season. McDonald won it. Voss put a hand in front of Koutafidis. Then a quick give to Hart. He's forced it wide. Leading forward is Ashcroft. Doesn't get a good bounce. It favours the veteran Bradley, who, with his exquisite skills, manages to drag it around 40 metres and keep it in. And Lepic, realising that he was against 3 Carlton players, and his best option was to let it go out as Matthews, well, making some notes there, as usual. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, although the win against Sydney was the most emotional we've seen Matthews this season. Mansfield keeping organised while on the bench. Here's Lappin running to White. Spotted a player wide, it's Power, and he hugs the boundary with it. He needs a player to keep running for him. Instead, he's popped it up to Lynch. Strong mark by Lynch. Has 4. Good effort from him. He's going to bang it long. This should suit Carlton, though. Bradshaw to fly and get it. Good mark, Bradshaw.
The Lions have taken 5 contested marks to 1 in this quarter.
It's the uncontested ones that have proved the problem for them, isn't it?
Well, it's the distribution of the midfield that we've talked about many times, but this is just a lovely jump, isn't it? He's got that a nice little bit of spring, hasn't he? And well, he's kept at it too. The whole team has, really. It's just those early.
Well, he's kicked 2 for this quarter. He would dearly love to make it 3, get it to within 8 goals. And it's no problem for Daniel Bradshaw, and has done so. So a terrific quarter for him, as well as Lynch has 2, and Power's been involved. So the 3-pronged forward line for Brisbane being very active in this quarter. And that's 8 for the quarter, so they have been effective.
Yeah, amazingly, Carlton have been inside their 50 17 times and Brisbane only 11, so they've been a lot more efficient.
8 out of 11 is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
47 points is the margin, and at one stage earlier in the game it was 71. Donald doing okay, getting it going their way, but Camporelli gets it, intercept by Ashcroft, and here come the Lions again. Hart to Lawrence, wobbly old kick. Lynch, he's given Stephen Silvani a tough time. That's Sauce's 3rd possession only for the day to Rice. 3-1 Brisbane, and Lappin does the punching. He was outnumbered the 3-1. It comes to Camporelli. Their system is magnificent. Hamill inside the 50. Whitnell waits at the back. It doesn't reach him. Knocked down by Lepic to Ackermanis. Lawrence wide to Ashcroft. Running out of time this quarter. 2.25 minutes to go. Kick by Ashcroft to centre half forward. Johnson works to the front. Bradshaw held umpire. And I'm not a He goes wider. Luke Power gets round on his left. It's Notting, and he's kicked it.
He's a good athlete, Notting. He backs himself in, tucks it under the arm. It's 9 straight, Drew.
9 goals straight for the term, and the Blues, who are absolutely flogging them in the game, have kicked 4 goals 5. Got a free kick to Bradshaw.
Well, you wanted that?
Well, so did 36,000 others.
Well, at last the Gabba crowd have a little bit to cheer about. The Brisbane chant is up for the first time, albeit they still trail by 41 points. Back in the centre once again. It's going to, as Drew mentioned, it will be a long quarter. Here's Notting, using his athleticism. McRae getting onto it, swing round on his left boot, forward. Johnson, it goes over the back. Here's Johnson, second, third chance for it. Spots a player backwards, and that's Ashcroft. Not a bad option too, because he is a very straight kick on goal.
This could be 10 straight for the term.
Yeah, wouldn't see that in AFL footy. No. A side has kicked 10 straight in a quarter and still be down by 40 points.
Look, I actually have, and it was game this year. I think someone kicked 10 in a losing side. Wasn't he a few weeks ago? Sure. Well, 9 at least.
So Ashcroft, who has a goal already in this quarter, make that 2 and make that 10 for the Lions.
Come on, Drew, you've got the biggest book of all time. Yes, tell us.
Comebacks. Well, I know that
they were 41 points down against North 2 weeks ago and got it back to a kick.
And
in the last quarter,
a Brisbane Hawthorn game up here a few years ago turned around after 47 at 3/4 time. 45.
Yeah,
Essendon Melbourne is the AFL record, actually. 53 points, I reckon it was. Early 50s.
Well, there's time for another one here for the Lions. 51 seconds remaining. McDonald wins in the middle, but Ratton, he's roped to McDonald and just won a heap of pill out of the middle. High tackle by Hickmott. McRae to take it. The Lions on fire. Their blood is pumping at the moment. Great kick by McRae. Man in front, Bradshaw. What a quarter this is by the Lions. Well, could this get the crowd involved and give them something to hope for in the last quarter? Daniel Bradshaw will be kicking for his 4th goal for the quarter and 11th straight for the Lions in this term.
Sorry, I just thought Lynch had the drop.
Yeah,
You can see a big one coming.
It was the first one I saw, yeah. Well, this is incredible. He kicks truly.
Now, I think that's the official record, 11. That is amazing.
But now they're close enough. They don't have to break any records. The siren's gone. It's 3/4 time. The Gabba is on fire. It's rocking. The crowd's come to its feet. The crowd's been taken right out of it in a first half where Brisbane trailed by 11 goals. And they've given themselves a chance with an unbelievable third term of 11 goals straight.
Well, that was the margin, wasn't it? 66 points, that's what they've kicked. And just the 4 goals, 5 that Carlton kicked is now the margin. 29 points, they're still in touch. And, well, they've got the momentum going at 3/4 time. And they trail by 29 points in a magnificent third quarter by the Lions.
How's it going, Dolly?
Good. Every time you have a beer, the treasurer takes his share in excise.
Hey, did you watch footy the other night?
Yeah, what a great game.
So close.
But watch out, he's about to help himself to almost twice as much excise when GST comes in. Double the excise,
I can't believe it.
plus GST.
He didn't think you'd notice.
Don't let him get away with it. Shout your protest now. Authorised by Walter Bino for the Australian Associated Brewers, Sydney.
Life is changing so fast, it's scary. We're not sure where we'll be tomorrow. And we're so busy worrying about the future, we forget about our dreams. But you only get one shot at life. So what are you waiting for? Stop talking and start doing. Join a bushfire brigade. Put your hand up at the auction. Go into business for yourself. Turn off the television and talk to your kids. Tell your boss you have an idea. Tell them yes instead of maybe. Buy some shares for your newborn baby. Get on the internet. Get in touch with your high school sweetheart. Tell your mum you love her. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Because life is there. All you have to do is take it. Anything's possible. Have a go. Whatever your dream is, make it happen.
Just wait, just wait.
The all-new Pulsar is just around the corner. So if you're thinking of buying a new car, just wait.
Just wait till you drive it.
Start of the last quarter, and this match is certainly alive after the Lions' third term. And one in the middle by Noble, down to Lappin, who looked gone a while ago. He's back into the play. Johnson, the hand pass off. This could be a great start. Round the corner, and it's another one. The goal is kicked by Notting.
I'll tell you what, the start, isn't it?
That's within 30 seconds of the bounce. So, great start.
He's an effervescent type player, isn't he?
He's, well, I mean, a hard man to match up, Malcolm. Can run, can spring. Not overly tall. Well, exactly what the crowd wanted. The first goal of the quarter, and incredibly, we're down to 23 points. Big punch this time from Houghton. Bradley coming in off the centre square, loses it. Throw called. Playing on is Scott. He's not going to waste any time. And typically he's gone very direct. He wants a big catch over the back. Here's a chance for Lynch. He's caught. Lawrence goes to ground. Lions tackling in numbers now. Beaumont can't go anywhere. Headland coming over the top. As usual, you'll find Adrian Hickmott in close where it's tough. And as we all know, 23 points, not a lot in a whole quarter. So the key for both teams is to forget what's been happening over the last 35 minutes.
Slows to that centre bounce too. Brett Ratton was on that the other side, the attacking side, not
Reversed.
the defensive side, where he's been most of the day.
Noble, fist to it. Porter diving on it. Umpire still keen to let things go. Another ball up. And, well, Lottie, is this where you believe a couple of players back off the contest?
Yes,
get out of there?
Yep.
Because there is a lot of numbers around the ball.
Hit-outs at 26-10 in favour of Brisbane. They've been often rode by the opposition, though.
Make that 27 as we're at the boundary throw-in.
Noble actually has come on to replace McDonald. Here he's going all right.
Yeah, one of the problems here is that as Carlton push all their players back, in fact, there is now officially no one at the back end of the ground. In other words,
it's closed.
It's closed.
Yep.
Porter down to Koutafidis. It comes to McKay, who clears the 50 and gets it out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to wonder whether we need this other half of the ground for
It's
a while.
almost like the offside trap in soccer.
Yeah.
Noble does well. Ratton had a hand to it, but couldn't gather. Oh, fumble. Taken by Johnson. Johnson from deep out across the face of goal. Almost the mark to Lynch. Tackling by the forwards. Well done, Luke Power. Bradshaw hooks the ball up to Headland. Headland applies the tackle. The ball's out. A throw-in.
I think when you're coming from that far behind, you've actually got to kick goals. And that was a real chance from Chris Johnson there, wasn't he? He tried to turn the ball instead of kicking a drop punt. It was really just a walk-around drop punt, wasn't it?
Well, they've got another chance here. This throw-in about 42 metres around from goal. Big leap by dashing Darryl White. Down to Headland. Buried in a good tackle by Hamill. Ball's not going too far. Ball up.
Carlton won't be too unhappy with this. They've slowed it down.
Well, of course
it's messy.
It's 36 players in one half of the ground.
Oh, no.
Now, it's a coach's prerogative to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the rules. I just don't think it's great for the game, that's all.
Once again, Noble doing it, and a free kick against Noble. And advantage played, and here go Carlton. Not many options up forward, but breaking hard is Houghton. Malloy, too strong. Push! Oh, he can't believe it. Here comes Carlton. His kick is long. Whitnell, Lepic with him. It falls back towards the fullback. Told to run on by Lawrence. Now he's got some time. Much chasing there. Lappin, whoops, look out. Just falls in. It'll be a boundary throw in. So they made a bit of a meal of it. Anthony Franchina, as usual, very close to Nigel Lappin.
Yeah, I mean, it was too high, wasn't it? It was too high.
Yeah, it wasn't really the push. It was across the back of the head, so Malloy couldn't believe it. Scott through some traffic, got it clear. Here's Houghton and Malloy once again. Houghton has been a real surprise for Carlton since coming across. Did well, got rid of Malloy, just got straight round him. Chance for Carlton. His kick. Well, it finds Hamill. Went over Whitnell's head. Matthews looks on. He really looks at that and thinks, well, we really should have done better with that.
Well, can I go back to the goal of Chris Johnson's, the shot at goal? I mean, momentum, everything's going for them. And all of a sudden that just dampens it. Lepic's kick misses. Carlton now have a shot for goal. I mean, everyone says it's luck. It's not. I mean, it's about you take your chances, and they just didn't take them that early in that quarter.
Well, such an important kick now for Hamill. He has one goal too, from 48 metres. He looks all right as far as he's concerned. He's got two.
Yes, just to go on with it. I mean, you can't come from 12 goals down without the opposition actually doing something. And if you give them more opportunities, they're just going to kick some goals. I mean, you've really got to nearly play perfect footy, which is pretty hard to do. Yeah, amazing play then, wasn't it? I mean, he really got round Malloy very easily.
Just went to ground, just lost his feet.
Well, letting the Blues kick that goal just means the Lions are going to need at least a 16-goal second half after a 4-goal first half. And the Blues out and the Ratton again. Well done, Ackermanis. Made sure the ball didn't get to Camporelli. And was that 50? The crowd wants it. Lepic, not sure Ackermanis really expected to get it. Very high ball. And man in front climbed all over it. Comes to Franchina. The hand pass to Camporelli. Open space. Lappin on the run. It's close. Away to the right.
Just a couple of times now they've had sort of clean possessions off marks with Lepic and Acker and just really rushed it.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is, particularly if you're used to playing wide, neither have looked down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get that much time, you should actually have a quick look down the middle, because his players are always down the middle of the ground.
He has done so now. McKay with the big punch. Hart was in front. Got smothered. Fortuitously now for Carlton. The Koutafidis. Koutafidis to really make him pay from 50 metres. What a player, Anthony Koutafidis. Well, just a brilliant player. And Darryl White, hands on his head. 2 quick goals to Carlton. Makes it very difficult for the Lions. A good smother there from Hamill. Porter, quick hands. And bang, the great man with possession number 28, goal number 3.
Well,
that makes it hard.
See, Matty, I've just looked up the book. The record deficit during a match, they say that game last year was a 63-pointer, Hawthorn and St Kilda. So if somehow Brisbane could get up and win this, it would be the all-time record, because they were down by 71 during the second quarter. Lawrence to Ashcroft. Carlton have kicked the last couple, though. And, well, it's a margin of 6 goals. Nigel Lappin at halfback. In short to Scott. Good running by Bradley. Made sure Scott got rid of it. Lawrence to centre half forward. Headland couldn't quite. It was Lynch, couldn't quite. Oh, good stuff by Power coming from behind. Ackermanis. Well played, Acker. Spills out to McRae. McRae's kick to Bradshaw. Underneath it. Gets past Johnson. Koutafidis is all over the place. So he handed that ball. That was a throw-up by a rugby pass. Get away with it. It's outside the 50 now. Good effort by Notting, but no mark. Malloy and McRae close to the boundary line. Whistle's gone.
Carlton free.
And the ball coming back to Fletcher. Fletcher to take it from right half back. Still plenty of time. And with the way this game's being played, anything could happen in the last 14 or so minutes of this game. Ratton another touch. Bradley another touch. Kick by Bradley. There's nobody in the goal square, so he kicked for the white line. That's pretty clever.
Oh, sensational.
There was nobody ahead of him for 80 metres.
Andrew throw in.
Someone wants to give a free kick for that. Why? It's a great part of our game.
Porter to do battle with McDonald. Down in front. Here he is again, Ratton. That is just a super goal from a magnificent player. And Carlton have put the foot down. 3 in a row to them after the Lions had kicked 6 straight. Ratton, who has been everywhere, his first for the afternoon.
Yeah, he's had almost 30 touches and a lot of tough ones, a lot of quality ones, and one that just might have snuffed out a bit of a game.
Yep.
Well, 7 goals is now the margin, and that'll make it mighty tough for the Lions. With the Blues getting the last 3. McDonald in the middle, but belted back by Franchina for the Blues. Malloy just hands off his opponent. Ratton doing the tough stuff underneath. Houghton floats one over the top. Camporelli round the corner. Whitnell one out. Bit of ballet dancing. Comes to Voss. Scott. Lepic. Ashcroft has to wait for it. Does well. Ackermanis. One out contest. Centre wing. Comes to Lappin. Flips the ball to Power. Kick by Power to the 50. Lynch is there with Silvani. Lynch has had the better of the duel. And Silvani goes to the line. He hasn't chased possessions today. He's had just 3, Stephen. He hasn't taken a mark and has laid just 1 tackle. So the bloke with the pencil hasn't bothered to sharpen it for Stephen Silvani's game today. But Alistair Lynch, on the other hand, has kicked 4 goals straight from 7 kicks and 6 marks. Well, another chance for the Lions. They need one out of this, and they might get it through Lappin. Kick for goal, hooked it back too far, way too far, out on the full. Katrina Presley signalling, who led the way amongst the lady goal umpires in the AFL and has started a bit of a trend up in Queensland, Matty.
It's yes, she's been a trendsetter and very popular here at the Gabba, I might add. Little kick from Rice to Freeborn. Just not enough Carlton to really dampen the enthusiasm here. 3-on-1. Koutafidis was there. Ashcroft, gee, that's a fantastic take. He needs a runner. He got it, Malloy. Malloy just took his time. Voss couldn't take it. Went to ground. Crowd want a free kick. Voss is down.
Well, can you knock a bloke over when he hasn't got it?
Camporelli and slows it up to Ratton. This will be possession number 31. Voss still slow to get to his feet. Houghton had run on for Carlton. Let's play on. He kicks it up in the air. Carlton have the numbers and the height though, and that's Hamill. Lapham did well to just protect his back there.
I thought always one of the clever things was to not actually take possession and draw a free.
Whitnell, he's got 8, he just couldn't quite get there. Lepic goes to ground, free kick. There's Michael Voss just catching some wind there. Lepic just kicked to Lawrence. Not much up forward for him though. McDonald has to go short for him. And that's not going to be very good. Lazy kick, in fact, from Lawrence. Now here's Carlton to turn it around. Koutafidis to Porter. Back in the side, kicks it up high. Whitnell the target. Almost. Down the ground, Whitnell, second effort. Gives it back to Hamill. Hamill. Gee, that'll hit the roof at Colonial. That's gone straight up in the air. Malloy underneath it. Play on, obviously, the call. There's the D9 trying to barge through. It spills for Camporelli. And there's a free kick back to Jared Malloy.
Might have gone through one of those cracks. Colonial.
Come out the other side.
Well, it nearly knocked the light globe out of the light tower here anyway. It was mighty high. Ashcroft. Well, now they're starting to run out of time. 11 minutes left for the Lions. And they need to storm home. Contest on the 50, whistle gone, free kick, Carlton free, advantage to McKay, and he kicks for the line. So the Blues, well, they did put their foot on the gas, and they've kicked 3-1 in this last quarter. But on that occasion, well, they're protecting a lead, and it's a handy lead. Don't forget, the lead is 42 points. It had been 71 earlier in the game. Ball back out of bounds. Franchina, yes, over the line. So we'll go down to some sort of a record. A thrilling 11 goals straight quarter by the losers. And they might yet lose by about 10 goals.
There's still plenty of time left.
Amazing. Fantastic stadium here now at the Gabba, and the biggest ever crowd to watch an AFL game up here. Camporelli, what a display by him, and Cooter. Hickmott. So he could have spun around, he had nobody in front of him then, but he's gone back to take a set shot for goal. And Adrian Hickmott has been very, very good this season. Today he's kicked 3 goals, 1. Cooter Feedies, look at the vision. He hooked that ball round across in front of his body. Hickmott, 49 metres out. Low, into the post.
Nice contribution from Adrian Hickmott. 3 goals again.
Oh, and a lot of the stuff that he does without gaining possession of the ball.
He's really matured as a player. He's a really nice player now.
Down the middle looking for McDonald. Power ran onto it. Couldn't quite gain possession. Lepich just gave it up. Ratton and Power on the bottom. As my old coach used to say, if he said that quickly, that'd be Rat Power. But Brett Ratton, what a player. 31 possessions. Likewise, Cooter Feedies. Camporelli, 29. McDonald out of the ruck, play on the advantage. Ackermanis, time to run on. Well, gets a little pitching wedge underneath it, and Chris Johnson takes the diving mark.
So the difference then, we talked about it earlier, how they actually had some guys running forward. In about that wing position, that's the time you can go forward. And I just thought they were a bit static early in the game. Carlton actually got that momentum when they got from the wing forward.
So Chris Johnson, who transferred up to the forward line in the 3rd quarter, hasn't kicked a goal, but he has been involved in a couple. They are still 43 points down. Need to gain some momentum from this kick. Just inside the 50. It's hung.
Well, 17 goals, 8's a pretty good score. Anyway,
win a lot of games.
Yeah, win a lot of games, and I think the best thing they've done is keep at it. But Carlton have been pretty good at keeping at it too, haven't they? I know they had that late rally as we watch Ackermanis now just chip it out in front of Johnson, and then he finished off nicely. But they had that late 5-goal rally, didn't they? So they've won about 10 minutes of the game in real terms.
Back in the middle. Well, 37 the margin. Still nearly 9 minutes left. A lot of football left in this game. McDonald wins in the middle, but that doesn't mean much so far because it's been sharked so often by the Blues. But this time the Lions have it. McRae back to Ashcroft. Just over the head of Cooter Feedies. Rice interfering. No free kick. Comes to Fletcher. Kick by Fletcher up short of centre wing. And Matthew Lappin has it. His kick to half forward. Oh, courage by Lawrence. And he's like a Sherman tank, Aaron Hamill, and Lawrence just carved in front of him. Bit of distance in the kick by Lawrence. Nodding underneath it. Voss had his hands full with Cooter. Kick by Voss. Punch by Silvani. Hasn't cleared the area though. Lappin. Rice. Kick smothered. Play on. Ackermanis back over his head. Rice. Tries to rush it behind, and that ball almost stayed in for Lynch. It is a behind. Well, that makes it 6 straight kicks.
Well, he's going to go back. Darzange, Chris, too. A couple of players on there. They're away there, the Blues. Now time for the Lions to man up. His kick, well, amazingly, to a player running hard and into space was Rice. Short kick from him to the wing. Franchina. Been with Lappin all day. Lappin 15 possessions. Franchina just a dozen. Wide in front. Koutafidis from behind. Kuta just rips it out of the ground. Voss diving on it. It'll be a ball up just outside the Carlton 50.
Bloody, is this a silly question? What position is Kuta playing, or doesn't it matter?
Doesn't have one now, does it?
Well, no, not really. I think he's probably playing a ruck rover role.
Not a bad size for a ruck rover, is it?
Yeah, well, up forward, might be playing in the centre. There's certainly a midfield role with the rest up forward.
There's the punch from White towards the boundary. Ratton keeps it in, though. This is where they're so dangerous, Carlton. They'll manufacture something here as Hickmott hooks it around the body, and they have done so. It's fallen on the chest of Whitnell directly in front. So from what appears an innocuous play when the ball's about to go over the boundary line, Carlton once again able to keep the ball alive, and Whitnell's lining up for number 9. Lance Whitnell from 48 metres. Yeah, he's just pushed it right. Margin again out to 37 points. Never say die when they're in close, Carlton.
He's blown it a bit, Lance Whitnell.
Yes.
He looked as though he was going to kick a dozen on one leg, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got 8-4 now.
Bit of a fumble by Voss, but Ashcroft good enough. Away to Power. Out into open spaces. Bradshaw on a long lead. It turns his opponent inside out. Now Daniel Bradshaw. 55 out. Lynch underneath it. It comes to the back to Headland with a bit of a chance. Cleared out of defence by Christou. It's on the 50. Ratton another possession. Well, not a disposal though. Hand pass. Ackermanis. Poor kick. And Silvani rescues it from the last line. And then, bounces it out. Magnificent. Ken Rosewell used to be able to hit the lines like that.
Ken Rosewell. Well, speaking of muscles, Carlton certainly have flexed theirs this afternoon. 37 points. They won round 1 by 40 points. And McDonald now flicks it over the back. Bradley was standing in the right spot. Hamill looks up, saw Hickmott, got him, dropped it. Lappin had to go to ground. Ashcroft spinning back towards Malloy. He's going to bang it in long and high. Needs a very, very good mark. Doesn't get one. Beaumont spoils out of bounds. Forward pocket. And the game virtually gone now. It's not a lot of scoring being done in this quarter at the moment. Carlton will continue to amass wins. This will be 11 straight. McDonald down in front, spinning out of trouble. Carlton moving it forward. Here's Freeborn. Well, maybe reacted to a call because he gave it straight to McRae, to White, to Lappin. Poor kick, Lappin. And here they go. Bradley to Lappin. Go all the way. There's no one up forward. Now Whitnell runs into the 50. Malloy with him. It falls for Whitnell. Will this be number 9 at last? Yes, lads. Nine goals to Lance Whitnell, and we talk about modern football, Malcolm, as just simply making them pay from a poor kick.
It's pretty simple, isn't it? Just an average kick, and Lappin's kick was pretty good actually. He tried to get it out in front, just over Whitnell. That's what I'm saying about this lad. I mean, he's got a real footy brain. He actually can, he sums it up pretty quickly. Doesn't always run to the obvious spot.
So Lance Whitnell has now kicked a personal best 9 goals. His previous best 8 a couple of years ago. And today he's kicked 9 goals 4, so it could have been anything. Back in the middle. White crunching through, clears a path for Power. White gets it back. Hasn't been his best day. A high ball. Interference by Lawrence. Camporelli pulled back. Well, it's happened a few times like that, and other times during the game not penalised, then it was. Scott Camporelli has had a fantastic day. This is his 21st kick. And Brett Ratton, who started so much of the action in and tight, he has had 32 possessions in short, and they're just queuing up to get scores here now, the Blues. And what threatened to be a little bit of a comeback by the Lions is now going to be snuffed totally out as Chris Massey tries to get on the scoring.
Just been the ability of those Carlton midfielders, Malcolm, to get possessions but also get them forward.
I mean, Ratton's been outstanding in his use of the footy. It's really, it's just that's what I'm saying. It'd be interesting, Essendon versus their midfield. There's probably just a slightly better kicks.
Massey in the Mike Fitzpatrick, number 3. Hits the post. Well, it's been a popular thing to do today. And we still have nearly 4 minutes remaining here at the Gabba. Well, I know you've been a bit critical, but the crowd, they'll be disappointed with the result, most of them, but it's been a display of footy, though. Gee, the skills have been on show, haven't they?
Yes, it wasn't a 0-0 draw.
Been some great play, certainly from Carlton, and then just that burst from Brisbane in the third quarter got them going. Lepic swamped by 4 Blues. Bradley on the back plate. McKay, who's been, I think, just so resolute in defence. Fletcher up and under. O'Reilly will get caught, but just the presence of mind to give it back to Fletcher. And again, Carlton seem to make something from nothing. Hickmott trying hard. Malloy, fumble. Hickmott goes again. Great work from Hickmott. And he's held it in. Well, the desired result for him was to keep it inside the forward 50. And he's been successful. Just over 3 minutes remaining.
This will be one of the longest games ever played since we went back to a 20-minute quarter game, and nobody's been carried off in a stretcher, so there's been no major hold-ups.
Just a lot of goals.
Yeah.
40 in total. Well, Kurtafidis just plucks it out of the air. Ratton forces it forward. Here's Whitnell. Can he make it 10? Picks it up like Rakuta. It goes out. Yeah, well, the third quarter went 35 minutes, the second 36. We're already played 26 minutes.
I think the first was right on 30 from memory too. Yeah.
So this is where Carlton are so dangerous. And who else? Anthony Kurtafidis! Couldn't do it. Gee.
Well, he's kicked 3-4. So if Whitnell and Cooter had kicked straight, well, strike me, they might have kicked 32 goals by now.
Well, they really have worked hard in this last quarter, 4-5 to just 2 goals won. It's been 9 scores.
The kick in straight over the head of the man it was aimed for, and then Matthew Lappin had his back to the action. Could have strolled in and grabbed it. Top mark by
listen to the goal square. If he looks back, there's no one in the goal square at all.
There's Lance.
First-year player, Freeborn.
It's good lesson, that. He really perved on his mark.
Hamill. He's got plenty of choices back from goal. He comes to Chris Massey. There's only 40 metres out.
And that's another reason why you get back quickly. I know Glad's taken a pretty good mark, but he actually, oh, that's a nice mark, so you go back. Really what you should do is spin around, have a quick look.
Chris Massey, who was a first-round draft pick in '97. And playing just his 6th game this season. So Massey to kick the Blues' 24th goal.
Nope.
It's right all the way. But at the same time, wrong.
Well, it'll be disappointing for that. You know, he hasn't had much of a run today, and to come on and hit the post with a couple of soda kicks and then miss. Oh, there's something you can work on. Always improve that.
There's Kurtafidis once again. The contest with Hart, the ball spills over the line. And what a day for him as well. He is the favourite for the Brownlow medal, and his form warrants that. Here's O'Reilly working on McDonald, punching it forward. Lepic, caught, loses it. Camporelli goes again. Lepic, swamped. Oh, falls to Franchina, and he just spins around the corner, hooks it back, looking for Hickmott. He's underneath it. With him, Chris Scott. Hickmott's still going. Out of bounds, boundary throw in. He just...
If I was Lance Whitmore, I'd be taking the ruck work here, and I'll be trying to grab it out there, I reckon.
For double figures?
Yeah.
Great way to bring up 10.
Well, let's have a look. He's up against the youngster in Noble.
He is too. Pushed
Underneath, and it goes to Voss. He wanted some support, it wasn't there. It's a handball that's indicative of where the game is at in the inside the last 2 minutes. Ackermanis running, switching into the middle, looking for Lappin. It falls to McRae. McRae onto his natural left foot, out to Power. Power runs to about 60 metres, chips to Hart, needs some courage, he had it. Coming late was Rice, but Hart will get the free kick. Dangerous kick. And Dean Rice never, well, he'll always make you earn it. Power, that little chip kick, which sometimes gets him into trouble. Rice had to leave Johnson and go for Hart. And so Sean Hart will now a little bit ginger there. Margin 45 points, looking to get it inside that in this last quarter.
They've had a funny old game, the Lions. Goals, quarter by quarter. They've gone 2, 2, 11, 2.
It's a strange old game, isn't it? So Sean Hart, who was one of the many players that scored a goal in that third quarter.
In fact, what they had was 10 minutes of sparkling footy where they kicked 5-0.
Yeah. The problem for them is the fact that the Blues have had 41 shots on goal and 23 goals. So from 46-7 metres, nope, just the behind to Hart.
So still just the 2 goals in this last quarter to the Lions. We're in the last minute, 32 seconds remaining. Well, can the Blues get it up to Lance Whitnell for him to kick his 10th? I once saw it with Tony Lockett against Carlton down at Moorabbin. And Lockett was playing on Silvani. He kicked 10 after the siren. Or his 10th after the siren. Now it's going the wrong way for them. Voss down the line. Good mark by Bradshaw. Daniel Bradshaw too far out to score. He wheels around and hoists it very high. He wants a hanger from someone. It's in the pack. Rode by McRae. Here's another one. Johnson. Will the siren win? Will it count? The umpire says no. There's no score. It's full time. The goal didn't count. Johnson was about half a second too late. The Blues 23-18 to the Lions 17-10.
11 in a row for Carlton.
Well, the Navy Blues song rings around the Gabba. We've had a record crowd here today to see some spectacular football by the Blues. They're firmly second on the ladder after winning their 11th game in succession.
And down on the ground is Vic Carthew. Vic?
Thank you very much, Lance. A PB, 9 goals. Congratulations. A little cheeky one at the end there as well.
Yeah, a little one just in the goal wheel. I haven't had one in the goal wheel all day, so I thought I'd try and get one close to the goals.
Just on that delivery today was fantastic to the forward line.
Yeah, coming into the forward line, we just used the ball really well, just using our targets coming forward, and we knew we had to use our ball coming well because their backs have been doing well this year. So it was good use, good credit to the midfielders.
11 in a row now, but to come here to the Gabba where your record hasn't been too flash over the past couple of years, fantastic.
Yeah, it's something that we worked on over the week. We certainly focused on it. That over the years our record hasn't been too good, and to come here and have a win like that, it's really good for the boys, and hopefully we can grow from here.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, it was still a personal best to Lance Whitnell, who kicked 9 goals for after 6 goals last week. So he's now up to 54 goals for the season.
It's a great effort, isn't it, for young Phil? He's really replaced Stephen Kernahan. It's almost every time I see a shot of Stephen Kernahan, he's alongside Lance Whitnell out of training or in a photo shoot of the paper. I mean, it really is, you can imagine just Stephen taking him under his wing. And he always looked as though he's going to be the one, but he's just getting better with age.
Round 20, I can't wait. Essendon and Carlton,
yes.
And I'm not sure who's in the better form at the moment. It might be the Blues. That will be something. Well, they won't have enough seats in the ground to fit them all in, but the Blues have now won 11 on the trot.